Welcome to the Tall Tale Tavern, the monthly one-shot adventure TTRPG podcast. My name is Kyle. I am your tavern master and host for this month's adventure, which is a level 5 adventure set in the Victorian steampunk era Fable 2-esque Faerun setting where all the player characters were part of the special tactics unit, except for Scott and poor Hooks, who has died, unfortunately. Joining me back at the bar this month is here because making a fool of herself once just wasn't enough. Welcome back, Katya. And I assume you're referencing the released valve on the thing.
Yep, that one time when I was still there.
I was 100% for you pulling that release valve. I was ready to die for that decision. Whatever was going to happen there.
Yep, English is my second language. That's my forever excuse. English is my second language.
I mean, I didn't know. I didn't know for sure what was going to happen. But also back at the bar this month. Wait, DM an episode? I thought you said BM. Explains the look when I handed you Metamucil. Ryan, welcome back.
Thanks. I'm glad to be here. Appreciate that.
You're always looking out for my bowel movements, so I didn't.
Hey, as we get older, it becomes a bigger priority.
It sure does. Also, doing his best to live longer than 20 minutes this time. Welcome back, Scott.
Whoa, happy to be here. I'm hoping to bring in a third or a fourth character maybe by the end of this one. So we'll see.
And last but not least, Brian, who won the Listener's Choice Award last episode for worst pun. Welcome back, Brian.
Why do you have such mean-spirited awards?
I know. Well, last time, you were here last time playing in the Dungeons and Dragons finals, for World Finals, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. How did I do?
I forgot to tell you actually won. So.
Oh,
hey!
Congrats!
Yeah,
it's
all right.
Pretty big honor. You're the best Dungeons and Dragons player out there.
I'm quitting my job. That's it.
It's very prestigious for our podcast now. We get to claim that we have had the best Dungeons and Dragons player of all time on the podcast. So pretty cool. But we have this adventure, the rest of the adventure story to live out tonight, this evening, live on the podcast. So let's go back or forward or whatever to the story of Killing Time. Let's roll the intro.
The ticking echo of a celestial scale grandfather clock fills your ears. The cosmic dance of the realm space star system glides in time with the ethereal pendulum. The ticking continues. The 8 planets, like hands on a clock face, orbit around the yellow-orange sun. The ticking continues. Your view pans to the 3rd planet known as Toral, a shimmering jewel of blue-green hues. The ticking continues. Your vision flies down to it, watching as a small moon circles Toral in smooth, clockwork motion. The ticking continues. Across the spanning ocean, the familiar sword coast of Faerun swells into view as the ticking continues. The winding, bluish Delambir River snakes from east to west, reaching the Sea of Swords, and where those meet sits the industrial factory town of Daggerford, and the ticking continues. As you slowly circle the bustling town, hovering over the factory smokestacks and iron girders of construction, a massive explosion of purple-blue energy erupts from an area known as the Southern Commons. Reality shatters, and the ticking stops. 3 beleaguered United Arcane Coalition Special Tactics Unit officers, Bick, Thwick, and Khaos, reeling from losing their mentor and leader, thrown through time and traffic, are desperately seeking the source of the temporal disturbance and hoping to the gods they can repair it. They have just narrowly escaped a harrowing encounter with the primordial dragon and its clutch of eggs in the distant past and stumbled back into the present and right on top of Frank Clubb, a hulking turtle folk in a khaki fedora and trench coat. After brief discussion, it was decided their goals aligned for now. The unlikely quartet made their way around the frozen sea of Daggerford's population to the closest dome of purple-blue arcane energy, swirling with rapidly shifting scenes that seemed to span the width and the breadth of time, as if a child was chaotically flipping back and forth within a picture book. As one, they placed their hands into the wall of energy, and they are each embraced by a brilliant flash of yellow-white light. As each of you blinks wildly, your eyes are temporarily flash blind. It takes several moments to realize that it's night, and the breeze blowing over your exposed skin is cool and moist, letting you know you are outside. The ground you stand on is uneven, soft, and squelches as you shift your feet. Distantly, you hear the rumble of thunder that slowly solidifies into the sounds of warfare. Occasionally, a flash of light appears within a few miles, followed by an explosion and the ground trembling beneath your feet. You soon recognize that there is a constant, high-pitched, repeating whining siren in the background, and your nose is clogged with the smell of rust, mud, decay, and moisture. You're standing on this ground. Immediately to essentially your left, you see a bunker-like structure with different coils of twisted metal and destroyed tin roofs with these pockmarks in it. You see the corpses of looks like a historically accurate UAC uniform from probably 30-40 years ago. You also see historically accurate looking corpses of those wearing the Steamlord Confederacy uniform. Around you, the ground is pockmarked with the fallen artillery shells of larger explosions of bayonets and swords and spears. Immediately in front of you, about 30 feet away, you see the beginning of trenches that have been dug. And about 150 yards away, you see another building, its walls partially collapsed in, and poking out of it random bits of material of metal and cloth. All along the right and then spanning into what looks like the rubble of the city, just to about 40 feet away is an expanse of coiled razor wire that is 3 coils deep. And it looks like passing that direction would be perilous but possible if wanted. And then lastly, you see as the clouded sky lets just a little bit of light from the moon through, you see a fire burning on a concrete, squat, rectangular building and some people up on the roof that seem to be manning searchlights and looking out in the area around. So you are all standing in this war zone. The front seems to be distant from where you are. Exactly where, it's hard to tell with the echoing of the warfare. You see this building roughly T-shaped immediately to your left. No roof on it. Looks like it's been hastily erected, and from it you actually see the large cannon barrels of artillery sticking out. However, much of it looks like it's been destroyed, as if it's been hit by bombs of its own. You have off to behind you and to the right this 3-layer thick razor wire, the ground pockmarked and studded with debris and artillery shells, craters. The path ahead would cross over a roughly 10-foot wide, 7-8 foot deep trench that seems to meander. And as you look out about, there is a junction where it goes straight up and away from you. And that leads in front of this other building that's off to your left at about 100 yards away. That is about 1 story tall. Looks like it's made out of just thick concrete bunker. You see there are some people moving around on top of there. Can't quite get without a perception check exactly how many are up there, but you see them manning what appears to be a searchlight that is slowly panning over the ground in front and around and in the air. That searchlight so far has ended a good 50 yards from your position. So they have not swept anywhere over where you are.
Do I have any tingling feelings?
Well, you could make an Arcana check to see if your deja vu is kicking in.
16.
There is a sense, you get the sense that you've been here before, you've done this before, but you're not getting any direction.
I'll pass it on to my team that we've been here.
Well, so I want to see if I
don't know where to go.
recognize anything or get that sense of deja vu.
Okay. If you're looking to recognize things, give me a history check.
Ooh, 11.
You, looking about, you see the corpses, and you look at the uniforms, the bodies inside. Not a pleasant sight, but also not very old, maybe a day or two at best. You recognize the antique looking uniform, a little hastily made. Clearly these were mass produced on a quick commission, but nothing specific jumps out of that other than the fact that you can kind of guess you are somewhere 40 maybe-ish years ago, and suspect that you were somewhere within the Man o' War as it appeared near Daggerford.
So we're still in, like, Daggerford, like the same, like the city proper. If I have street smarts where I know all locations in a city, like the back of my hand, basically, as part of my character, do I recognize where we are even though it is, like, 30 years in past, like our exact location within the city?
You'd probably get some good idea of it because some of the roads are still going to be there. Some of the buildings may still be there, even though they've been bombed out. You would have a good chance. The DC would probably be a little higher than normal, but I'd let you roll for it. See what you can figure out.
What should I be rolling? History then, or?
I think history would make sense with that. And I would also say that also for Frank, it's probably the first time he's traveled in time.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be curious to know
That's
what
fair
his
enough.
initial reaction is to suddenly being someplace very different.
Right. So I guess I don't know. I guess I assume I recognize then that we are in a different time looking at the uniforms here just innately. And what the hell have you coppers got me into right now? And if somebody could please let me know what the plan is rather than just sitting here and waiting for that searchlight to land on us and get us thrown into the clink, that would be great.
I don't know. Thwick is like fumbling through his books. Of course I didn't bring my history book. I don't know where we are. I don't know what's going on. And he's just like flipping through his manual, just kind of freaking out.
Am I able to see, and I don't know if you said it, who is on the roof? Is it which
Make
side?
a perception roll for me.
Why don't you wait a second? I took arms with you people, and we jumped into this. You really led me to believe you had a stronger sense of what was going on. I feel like
We're
So
going in
usually we just, one of us kind of knows where to go and we do that. It's worked so far.
We're alive. All of us are alive.
Do you know where to go, Frank?
What do you mean all of you are alive? Most of you. You specifically told me earlier, didn't you, that you've already lost somebody?
That
I
was
rolled a
before the
22.
time jump, in fairness.
Look at me. Do I look like a frog to you people? I'm not here to croak, all right? I'm coming out of this alive.
Chaos, I see that 22. Yeah, you see everything. From your vantage point, you see as the searchlight has moved about, man it a little haphazardly and actually sweeps across them, and you see it light up some uniformed UAC soldiers, and it actually splashes across a flag that has been erected of the UAC. So that bunker that is kind of from your position, consider it like a northwestern direction from you, about 100 yards away, appears to be being manned by UAC soldiers.
I got a 13, by the way, on that history roll that I tried to make earlier to get a sense of where we were in the city.
What did you roll?
13.
13.
Yeah.
Best as you can tell, you are near where you entered, which was close to the southern part of the Commons in Daggerford. But many of the streets and many of the buildings you would expect, because the Commons are a little bit of the poorer section, a little bit more densely packed, are missing. They've just not even been built yet.
Okay.
You do notice one thoroughfare, like, oh, okay, that might be one of the main roads.
Mm-hmm. I point that out to everybody and, say, we may be in the past, but I've spent my life living in the past, so I think I know where we are.
Sips from a hip flask.
So 40 years ago, would our positions and the STU have existed within the UAC?
The STU would have existed, to your knowledge.
Well, hey guys, if they're with the UAC, we should just be able to go up to them and, maybe not explain truthfully what's happening, but we're with them technically, right?
I don't know if they're gonna like our time hopping story.
Well, so I wouldn't tell them the truth about that part.
How different are our uniforms?
As you look to your uniform and down to the one on the ground, you hear a distant and the unmistakable sound of a shell whistling through the air. Perfect. Thank you.
Skills.
Absolutely. 160 yards away, just north of that bunker, you distantly hear someone yell, "Incoming!" And this violent blue explosion of light, and the ground shakes, and there's a big tremor. Then everything is silent again.
Frank has shell shock. Sorry, I had to say it.
You look, and the cut is different. You have more modern, clean lines. The positioning of the rank is a little bit modified. The place where your names are is a bit higher up, a bit more neatly stitched. You definitely look much more clean and refined in this uniform. Although you can see the natural history of it, and that it's really retained kind of that same form and function, but it definitely looks like what you're wearing compared to that. Yours is, years of advancements, and in fact, yours is even enchanted to help hold back some of the cold and the elements, and clearly the ones in front of you are not.
If they're enchanted, will they not get dirty? Like, could they all roll down around on the ground to make themselves look more like they belong, or disguise the fact that their uniforms don't match?
No, they can get dirty.
Okay.
Perfect. Let's get rolling.
Would I, based on my history knowledge in school, would I know of a famous UAC soldier or officer, and also know what they look like? A la like George Washington.
Give me a history check.
Okay, how much attention did I pay in school?
Your character doesn't
18.
seem like he's paying attention. I guess so, never mind.
18, I apparently absorbed it.
You liked history.
Let's go with faces.
Absolutely. In thinking it through, you recall that there was a individual who was extremely well known, almost born into the battlefield. There was a fierce fighter by the name of Mistral, and she was somebody who had made a very big name for herself fighting in the UAC. She was a legendary close quarters combatant and extremely lethal with any form of a blade.
So, hey guys, I think we're good to just go up and join them. You guys remember the minstrel from our history books? Because that's a good question. I haven't gotten that far.
We have a hostage.
Yeah.
He's a spy. We're holding on to a hostage.
Well, I was thinking you guys could be special forces, which explains the new uniforms that they wouldn't have seen.
But what if we put on any of these uniforms on these people around fit our total friend?
Listen,
and we
pal, I don't get my rocks off by grave robbing. I'm not planning on stealing somebody's clothes.
I got you covered. I'm just going to take clothes off of the closest body that looks his size.
While you're working on stripping the clothes of the closest person, go ahead and give me give me an investigation check, and you hear another distant and another whistling sound. This time, the shell 19. You were able to find a series of cloaks that are kind of torn and shirts that are pulled apart that if you tried with maybe a disguise kit or something like that, you might be able to make something almost passable, or at least look like they were clothed in UAC and maybe they've gone through a lot of damage and, you know, their uniforms half falling off of them. But that distant shell, this time it lands only 70 yards just north of you, and the ground shudders. There is dirt and debris flying through the air. I need everyone to make a dexterity save for me.
Oh, jeepers.
Oh, good. Had terrible dexterity.
Oh, no.
Bick, what did you get?
Oh, sorry, I got a 23.
Okay, Thwick, what did you get?
An 8.
Perfect. Khaos, what did you get?
21.
And Frank, what did you get?
17.
Fantastic. All of you get showered in pebbles and dirt and do fine. You just kind of shake it off. Thwick, somewhere in that debris, a larger, roughly cannonball-sized stone got launched and hits you square in the chest, and you take 3 points of bludgeoning damage as it just crushes into your carapace.
Tell us how you really feel.
That's like the air sounds like coming out of this insect body.
I say we better listen. This is great hanging out here, but I think maybe we should, hightail it for your friends before you end up being another man down on this little mission of yours.
I'm down with that. Is that our plan?
Same.
Yeah. So do we need to look dirty? Are we looking dirty?
You look pretty scuffed up right now, buddy. I don't think you're gonna need to get dirty.
Yeah.
The path ahead, so your options to get to the bunker. Immediately about 15 feet in front of you is the beginning of a trench that is 10 feet wide and seems to run basically at a parallel that then leads into another trench that goes north-south that would take you in front of the bunker. There is also this hastily erected building that is just to your left that you could go through and then get to the other side and also get into a trench or get yourself closer to the bunker. You could also cross over the trench, and then there's a large area of about 50 yards of clearing before there would be another, looks like a bombed out building in front of you. And then if you got to that spot, the bunker you're trying to get to would be just to your left. So you've got a couple different ways to go. Which ways are you going?
What is the straightest route?
I'm voting trench. There's absolutely zero chance I'm walking out in this open field where shells are flying right now. That's what I'm saying.
Trench seems like a good plan.
The straightest path would almost be a diagonal, which would take you up and over the trench twice, and then right in front of the bunker.
Somebody dug this trench for a reason, and I suggest we use it for its intended purpose.
Let's go trenching.
I'm wearing my trench coat, so this is appropriate today.
Are you still?
You walk up to the trench, and as you come up to the side, you see that there are sandbags stacked, and there's mud and water kind of seeping down into the bottom of it. You see in some parts of the trench, there are boards there to try to keep people's feet out of the muck that is at the bottom. But there's in many places the boards have been corroded and cracked and fallen through. As you are going to slide down into there, I want each of you to give me a dexterity check as you are kind of sliding and clambering down the sides. And they're steep. You're looking at an 8-foot drop down.
Is this a dex save?
Yep. Was it dex? Dex check.
I did dex. I rolled a dex save. Can I keep the d20 roll and just minus the save? Or can I roll? Do I have to roll for dex?
I'm fine.
I guess
with
my
it.
dex is +2 and my save is +2.
I mean,
so never mind.
if
It's
this
the
were a
same.
table, you would roll a die and you would choose to add the number.
Yeah,
It's
at your
fine.
save
It's good.
I Thwick rolled a 21 or no, a 19. No, a 21. I forgot. I got the bonus. It's fine. 21.
How do we math? Perfect. Yep. You make it down, no issue.
All right, I got a 15.
You slide down, and as you slide in, your foot catches on a footlocker, and I need you to roll dex one more time to make sure that you do not sprain anything, catching yourself.
Okay, just straight up dex.
Straight dex, yep.
Okay. Ooh. 6.
Cool. So as you go down, you're going to take 2 points of twisted ankle damage, and the footlocker you tripped over kind of comes up with you, and you get tangled in it, and you are now prone on this plank with your face inches from probably 3 or 4 feet of just mud and almost like quicksand because of the bottom of this.
Hey, guys, there's mud at the bottom. I'm checking it out. So you guys should be good to go by. Just be careful.
Okay. Next up was, gotcha, Chaos.
I rolled a 12 because I'm apparently very bad at following directions, to be careful.
Nope. You are actually okay. You slide down and you use your claws to kind of dig into the sand as you start to slip, and you're able to get into the a dry area in the bottom of this trench.
I'm also really interested in the mud because I rolled a 7. So,
I'm glad you're interested in the mud. As you slide down, you land deep into the mud, and your right foot seems to strike something hard and sharp. Give me in this case, let's go ahead and just do another dex check. We'll see if you're able to avoid some damage here.
hey, 17.
Hey, you know that when you're walking and your kids have left Legos out, and you step and you have that wherewithal just to not put your full weight on it. That's what you do. You're like, and so you kind of quickly hop up on one foot. You're not sure what's down there, but there's something hard and sharp that you about put your foot through.
Perfect. That's oddly appropriate. I was playing with Lego like 10 minutes before this Discord call, so works
Perfect.
out.
So all of you have made it relatively safely into the bottom of the trench. You can look essentially to your east and see that the trench ends at about 100 feet in front of you, and you can look to your west and you can see that about 175 feet or so, the trench makes a slow turn to the south. And the path you want, about another 50 feet from you, you can see there's a T-junction where the trench goes to the north, which would take you in front of the bunker.
North.
Oh, this feels good. This feels better. This feels like home. Okay, and Thwick's just looking, kind of like touching the sides of this muddy trench.
You hear another thump, a sailing, whistling sound, and it goes about 250 yards away. Big explosion, rain of debris and dust. No need for saves.
Good call in the trench.
Khaos is walking very tentatively because cats and wet feet.
Bick, you are still tangled up in this. You're kind of still prone. You're tangled up in this footlocker. that is apparently intact and still latched.
I mean, I'm gonna open it. I'm just curious. As apparently a student of history, this intrigues me.
Roll a d10 for me.
Let me figure out how to do that.
Student of history, I don't think would be mucking about with the past and opening things.
5.
You find in this footlocker, padded in some kind of soft foam, a gorgeous replica, and you realize this isn't a replica, this is the original thing, of a falcon drone.
Ooh.
You recall from the history, and this has been replaced now, but these mechanical falcons could fly over areas and would be controlled with a little bit of a magic and electronic chip that you wear on your ear. It could provide aerial reconnaissance, and it could do little deliveries to like dropping aid to people. They were never for combat, but they had advantage on any kind of perception with sight. And so I will send you in a DM this item that you just found.
Dun, dun, dun.
I assume that it has the earpiece with it.
It does. It has everything you need right there.
Ooh.
So it's a small mechanical falcon that can hover above the user. The drone can be controlled mentally and provides aerial reconnaissance. It can deliver small objects or potions to allies in combat. Got a +2 to perception involving sight, and you get advantage when rolling for perception.
Do you guys want me to send this up to see what we're dealing with at the next outpost, or are we pretty sure it's UAC?
I'm positive in what I saw.
Let it fly, yeah. I mean, it wouldn't hurt to get a little better view. I suppose they could shoot it down if they see it, but
Yeah.
we can explain that when we get up there.
I was gonna say, buddy, I'm not pretty sure of anything. About 10 minutes ago, I was walking down the block and you told me that I was frozen in time, and then we were here, so, yeah.
That is a good point.
So, Cass, this is
Living on
not
the edge.
that I don't trust your instincts, but Frank made a decent point. So
I wouldn't trust my instincts either.
yeah, so I'm gonna command it to fly up, and I know how these work, but I don't think I've ever used one before. So I'm doing some like very showy motions, trying to like launch it up into the air.
Make a performance roll for me.
Thwick, or Bick, here, look, my guidebook here, let's see, drones, it looks like you have to do some of these motions, and I give you guidance.
Oh, you got guidance? Do you want to add your guidance?
Why not? This seems worth it. What is guidance D4?
D4.
Okay. 25.
That's phenomenal. So with a flourish, you send this falcon sailing through the air, and almost effortlessly you see it like ducking under and around the searchlight in a phenomenal aerial display. And it seems so far to be silent and undetected. So go ahead and give me a perception with advantage, and you get a +2 modifier as well.
Excellent work, Bick.
Okay.
Excellent.
So that's a
Golf clap.
25, or I'll go with the 25.
So as you fly the falcon over, you see in one of your eye, the eye that's got the same side that the earpiece is on, you're seeing out of its eyes, and you clock that there are 4 UAC operatives that are on top of the bunker. They seem to have mostly gathered and almost appear to be shying away from the entrance to the bunker, which is it descends down underground. You see 2 of them are keeping a watchful eye on it with weapons trained on it, and you see the other 2 are constantly sweeping and looking outside, watching the surrounding area and using the searchlight.
All right, so we've got 4, and I'm pretty sure they're UAC. So I
We
guess
can make friends.
Those are your kind of coppers, right? So why don't we head that way?
Well, let's move forward then.
Yeah.
Sounds good. That's one fancy falcon you got there. They make those in Malta? Is that a Maltese falcon?
You're really trying to win
of
that worst pun of the game award.
You can't bring up a falcon when my character's last name is copying the character from the Maltese Falcon.
Hey, I toss you a softball doesn't mean you always have to hit them. So you guys make yourself.
I learned that in Little League. Trust me. Yeah.
You make your way essentially west through the muck. It is slow going because as you walk, the boards will want to break underneath you. There's this mud trying to seep up, and on several occasions as you are walking forward, you see things you're not entirely sure slithering through the muck and diving into holes or crawling underneath debris. You do cross by corpses of various states of decay, and you make your way to that T-junction to where you need to go north. Are you doing anything differently? Are you changing your plan, or you plan to head up north? You can always crawl out. You can always go investigate something else.
So how close does this trench take us to the bunker?
If you follow this trench all the way up, it widens at a certain part about 50 feet ahead of you. It looks like it widens out, but it's going to take you within about 15 feet of the side of the bunker.
How close is the door to that side?
So this bunker, the way it is set, you have it set up at about 20 feet off the ground. The bunker door is on the front of it, facing to the east, so it's facing the trench. And the UAC guards on top of it, when you've seen them, they are on basically the roof, and they are guarding that roof access as if they were nervous of what was in the bunker.
I think we should go in.
So we're going into the bottom part that they're afraid of, right?
Yep, that's what I vote.
Okay.
She seems
Vigorous
confident.
My tail's just twitching, like that catfish just...
Not all of us have 9 lives. You realize that, right?
Shh. So just semantics, it's fine.
You hear another and this whistling sound. And this time it sounds like it's coming right for you. Because you are still in the trench,
Yeah.
you get to roll a dex with advantage. But I need a dex save with advantage.
With advantages.
With advantage.
Twice.
Thank you for the advantage, please. Oh, no.
What is the advantage?
Oh, Thwick. Advantage, you roll twice.
Okay.
Yep, and you take the better roll.
Oh my god.
In Thwick's case, his better roll was a 9.
Okay.
I got a dirty 20.
Okay.
15.
13 for Frank.
F is for 3rd.
Turtles are not known for their dexterity.
There is a massive, massive explosion. Your teeth shake. If you saved, and it looks like Khaos, Bick, and Frank, what did you get?
13?
13. So Khaos and Bick saved. You each, because you saved, are taking 17 points of fire and concussive damage as this blows over you.
Oh, no.
Okay.
I think this is it for us.
When you, those who didn't
My
save,
poor wizard body.
Thwick and Frank, you're taking the full 34 points of fire and concussive damage as it just...
Thwick is squashed. He is down.
Thwick is unconscious.
Great.
Yep, I am unconscious.
I will be using my bloodied but unbowed reaction to whenever I am reduced to half of my maximum hit points, I can gain temporary hit points equal to my pugilist level plus my constitution modifier. So just 8 temporary hit points, but that's 18's better than being at 10 total. So I will, yeah. Oh geez. Your bug friend got splattered.
he looks like he is down and out, and he's just flayed out on the ground.
I'll pick him up. We're going in the building. I'm gonna scoop up his body and head toward the building, I guess, right? Because we can't stay out here. That much is clear.
No, we're not staying out here. No. I was just gonna say, how heavy would I forgot what.
Not very heavy.
I can pick this guy up. That's the one thing
with
I
the
got.
distance you're trying to cover, it's going to take a good 30 seconds to get there. Thwick is unconscious. If we don't stop to at least stabilize him, I'm going to need Thwick to roll death save.
Okay.
I can stabilize with
him
just a
inside,
medicine check, right?
It is a medicine check. So give me a medicine check.
He's got a healing word while we're running. I mean,
I assume I would do this before you pick him up, but it's not going to work, I don't think, because it was a 9.
I'm telling you, I'm not sticking around for you to check on him. I'm scooping him up in a fireman's carry, and I'm walking that way. There's
checking his pulse while he's getting
You
carried.
try to do your medicine check on him while Frank is throwing him over his shoulder and just like running. And you all you successfully do is see one of his manuals go think, and that's you can't quite get the check. Go ahead and give me a death save, Thwick.
I'm just picturing he's trying to help him. He's like grabbed his arm as I start walking. We just rip his leg off or something.
They grow back to
17.
17. Hey,
Nice.
that's
a success.
That's a success. All right. So you charge forward. You see that the door is shut in front of you, and you're making a lot of noise, and you hear the UAC guards starting to come to look to see over the edge. What do you do?
As soon as one gets near the edge, because I'm assuming that they're coming and they're about to look down.
You guys are essentially in front of the door. The door is shut, and you hear them approaching the edge.
You said the door is locked, or
I said it was shut.
Shut. I would open the door.
We gotta pull it.
Yeah, just gonna try to open.
Yeah,
it.
Just say push or pull.
You go up to it and you push your weight against it. It gives a little bit, but it feels like there's something that's maybe fallen or been blocked on the other side of it. You want to give me a strength?
I would like to do that.
Give me a strength check.
All right. Let's see.
If you are holding Thwick when you're doing this, it'll be with disadvantage. Do you want to offload him onto one of the other?
It's not disadvantage can't really make it worse because I rolled a 6, so a 10 total. So
okay. You kind of lean back. You got Thwick on your one shoulder. You shoulder your way into it again. You get to open up another couple of inches. As you do that, you hear now the UAC soldiers are coming up. There's some kind of a handheld light that they're shining down on you. Who goes there? Friend or foe? Answer.
Friend, man down.
So Bick is gonna wipe a little bit of makeup on his face while he looks up, and use the cantrip of friend.
Okay.
Good.
Friends.
What a great idea.
We
got 1 minute.
We got 1 minute till they know.
Literally. We're with the UAC. We're part of the C division. What's going on in this building? We can't get in.
The gentleman looks at you, and let's look at the friend cantrip real quick.
For a minute, I have advantage on all charisma checks.
Perfect. Okay.
And I'm choosing the guy who
But
talked
in
to me
1
as the
minute, they
character.
will become hostile because they know they were charmed. So
I think that hostile is optional.
is that what it says?
Oh, it says becomes hostile.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't think that it's optional.
We have a minute. Okay, we're good.
We got
Okay.
a minute, and then
I just start my watch.
Yeah, friend for 1 minute is what we answer.
friend for 1 minute, then enemy for life.
You see a
fine
individual
for
looking
Thwick. His
over.
life
He's
is
got a lieutenant's markings on his lapel, and he says, "Some kind of new weapon. It just opened up in there. We don't know what it is. Never seen it before. It's like a tear right in space. It's like purple and blue, and we just had to get out of there. We didn't know what it was. Never seen it."
Well, good thing we're here. That is actually what we were looking for. We're the team sent to quell the purple domes. They're still working on the name for the team.
Thwick, give me another death save as you are head lolling, unconscious, hanging off of Frank's
Some
shoulders.
sort of gross
Come
pus
on.
oozing on my shell.
Oh, that is so. I got a 2.
Okay. 1 save, 1 success. There's some kind
you
of
guys have a
fluid that is running out of Thwick. It's starting to come down onto Frank's khaki coat.
Everything.
Frank, do you want to try the door again?
Yeah, I would like to try the door again.
Give me another.
This time I'll fucking throw him down on the ground, I guess, because I'm really trying to get in here. I don't want this disadvantage.
Don't do damage to me. That's 2 fails. If I get 2 fails,
I'm not doing damage. You're fine.
Or if I roll a 1 on my next save,
you gotta fall 10 feet to take damage. I'm not 10 feet tall. You're fine.
You're
The
not
mud is
tossing me
soft.
up in the air.
Yeah. Well, it was worth it because this time I got a 23 on
Nice.
my strength check.
Frank, you just freaking bust the door open. There is a series of stacked chairs and duffel bags that just fall away, and you all tumble right behind him, I think trailing Thwick's body behind. And you are standing inside of a room that is 20 feet long. It is about 10 feet wide. It's got a couple of small sections in it. In the room, you see many different tools and gadgets and weaponry all strewn about in there, some in disrepair, some of it that has recently been worked on. You see some gleaming objects that immediately get your interest, but the biggest thing you notice is in the middle of the wall across from you is a tear in the fabric of reality and a purple blue beacon of energy that is just, well, kind of timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly sitting there and beckoning. You hear up top people saying, "Do you see it? Did you take care of it? What's going on?"
We got you covered. Don't worry.
Hey, can somebody help me out with Thwick here? I'm all excited about this dome, but I would rather not lose another team member. Today? Is it today?
I'm going to close the door behind us.
Okay. Go ahead.
Patching
You
people
close
up
the door.
ain't my specialty, pal. It's putting them in the hospital, so I can't help you.
I'm going to try to stabilize him as best as I can, all on my own.
Can I check if there's a first aid kit?
You
readily
can.
available?
And also, if you give help to him, you could also allow him to roll with advantage to help
Yes,
stabilize.
I give all the help.
Okay. So she's trying to help you at first, so you can roll with advantage to try to stabilize and try to do a medicine check.
Okay. That feels better at 12.
12.
Or,
You got to be a 10
with
and up.
advantage 21.
That works too. Had to be a 10 or greater to stabilize. So, Thwick, you are stable. You don't have to make death saves, but you have 0 hit points.
Yep.
You're basically just there.
All right. I'm still out.
You're still out.
Could I check for a first aid kit? Maybe there's like a healing. Oh,
Make
shit,
an
I
investigation check for me.
don't know. Lucky number 12.
So
Okay.
with a 12, what you find going about the room, you come across a whole it looks like a cask of bottles, and as you start going through them, they're all empty. And as you keep looking about, on the wall to your right, you see another big box. So go ahead and make another investigation check for me.
I was going to ask if I could make one too, or if I could at least give her help on that. 'Cause,
You can also make an investigation check for me, Frank.
I got a 21 on mine.
Okay.
22.
Frank,
22
give me
from Chaos.
nice.
Nice.
Frank,
Okay.
give me a D10 roll. Chaos, give me a D10 roll.
I got a 1.
Frank,
8.
you've never seen these before, but you pull out a pair of metal gauntlets that seem to expand, like as if they were welcoming the massive size of your fists into them. On the back of these metal gauntlets are small sparking Tesla coils. As you look at these, they're very self-explanatory. As a bonus action, these gauntlets release electrical pulses, dealing lightning damage to any enemy in your melee range. Additionally, these coils can absorb lightning damage and therefore gives you resistance to it. they do an additional 1d8 lightning damage on a bonus action to anybody that's in the melee range.
Are
Chaos.
those healing gloves?
They're not healing gloves.
No, I put them on and I
Secondary
put them on his chest. I say, clear.
Chaos, you rolled an 8. You found a small wrist-mounted device that projects a shimmering shield around you that, when activated, can absorb up to 8 points of damage. But once it has absorbed the damage, it is destroyed. But still no healing potion.
I'm gonna put the bracelet on Thwick.
If we
Okay.
if he's stable and we short rest, does he get health back?
The short rest, I have to look back at the... I think it has to
I
be...
feel like you have to be fully alive to benefit from this.
Be able to
Yes.
like do a
Don't know how it works.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta look back at being stabilized. Give me 2 shakes.
Like how we have no healing.
I know. I just assumed
So-
between there's 2 magic users at least. I figured one of you would be able to heal.
So I can talk to him if you guys want to ask him questions.
So after a long rest, you get your hit points back. Once you're stable, you regain 1 hit point after 1d4 hours, which I just rolled, and it would be 1 hour. So you will get 1 hit point back after 1 hour.
Okay.
Oh.
Can't wait.
Could I convince him? Like, I'm really, really charismatic. Could I convince him that
You-
he's all better and healed?
You hear upstairs, and after all the searching and stabilizing and looting stuff, hey, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Into the portal.
Problem.
Into the
We're gonna
portal.
have to hope we land somewhere that he can chill for an hour.
Yep. Scoop him up.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you scoop up the broken, battered body of Thwick. Yeah, when Thwick gets out, do his legs and arms go, like they're all stuck up in the air like a roach.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is like out as. I like that visual.
Yeah, he's just. So you've got him running for the portal, this blinding flash of yellow-white light, and as you blink, the very air around you tastes stale and thin. Like it almost leaves you hungry for air. You're in the daylight. Thwick, you're standing there as well. Injuries healed. In fact, all of your injuries are healed.
Hell's yeah.
You don't have any pain anywhere. You're looking about, and it's almost as if you had like a long rest while changing time. And you look about, where are we? You're standing almost what looks like a bridge, but it's a long bridge. The bridge extends for like a mile in front of you, a mile back. You can see in many places where it's crumpled and fallen. The bridge is made with this black substance across the top of it, and you see there's white lines that go down in regular intervals down this black surface of the bridge. On either side of the bridge, that is a good 30 feet wide, you see that there's about a 4-foot tall cement barricade that seems to run the length of it, and maybe was used at one point to stop vehicles from careening off the bridge, but now you think that even a good push or kick would probably send the barricade careening to the ground that's 30 feet below. And as you do look below, you see that there are undulating waves of fine gray powder that is gently piled up into small dunes, and it rests against these ancient looking but massive buildings that have long since been abandoned. Many of them are laying on their sides, but even still, those that are standing, stretching 5, 10, 20 stories around you, look like they are just the skeletal frames of something that once was. The ground
That's how I feel.
The ground is deep, and you see many different structures have been buried underneath this fine gray dust. The air is cool about you, and the sky, as you look about, is cloudless, but distantly a mile, 2 up, you see a massive floating city? Station? You don't know what. You see these lights going to it and coming across from it. The lights going up deep beyond the sky, beyond even what your minds can understand. It's hard to describe or put into words things that you're having a hard time comprehending. You're standing now on this bridge, on this road, 30 feet in the air. Go ahead.
I know it. I know I shouldn't have trusted you flatfoots. We're dead. And this is the bridge to take us into the afterlife up there, I can tell.
Just don't go towards the light.
We're all dead. You guys were hit by that thing? That ball of light hit me and I was out.
The only thing that makes sense to me, pal.
Oh. Jeez.
You got any books
guess
on
we're all
death?
dead.
The afterlife.
Is there any sound around?
But I felt like I was being carried at one point. I thought...
That's when there was
think
only one
maybe it
set of
was-
footprints in the mud. Was when
I think it was...
scary.
I think it was Hooks. I think Hooks saved me.
Chaos, you asked, are there any sounds? Go ahead and make a perception check for me.
23.
23. So, yes, looking about, listening. First thing you see is that in a rough manner, this meandering road that is 30 feet up seems to roughly travel from the south to like the northeast. You see another road that is mostly covered in this gray dust stuff that blows over it. It crosses at a rough X going from like the northeast to the southwest. And when you see that, right where the two meet, this bigger bridge has collapsed, and you see that it's coming down an angle where it has collapsed over that lower road. The buildings around you, there are immediately in your vicinity 4. On your east and west, on the lower quadrant of this area, you have 2 that are still standing, although they are mostly skeletal. There is one to your northwest, so if you think like a grid, the top left-hand corner, there is another building that is standing, but it's only about 2 stories tall, and it looks maybe to be the most intact of those in the area. And then again, thinking of a grid of 4 squares next to each other, to the top right or to your northeast, there is another about 5 or 6 story building, but it is leaning significantly to the side at almost a 45-degree angle. The sound you hear is a moaning sound of like a constant moaning, droning sound. And your best guess is it's the sound of the wind blowing through these coffin-like remains of ancient buildings.
How high up is that floating city?
Make a perception check.
15.
From this distance, it could be 2, maybe 3 miles. It seems to be massive, but really, really high up.
I'm fresh out
Okay.
of jet fuel, so I don't think that's going to be an option for us.
Yeah.
With the Falcon, do I know what range it would have on it?
You would intuitively know that the range on that Falcon is not likely to go much over about 1,000 feet.
Okay.
Well, I could change one of our statistics to fly, but I can't really change all of us to be able to fly, so I don't think we can get up to that city. If this is the afterlife, is there a big shining light in any direction? Usually you're supposed to go to the light, right?
Everything is gray. I don't see a light. I think we're alive.
Looks normal to me.
Thwick, make an Arcana roll. Your deja vu kicking in a bit.
Oh, I got a +6 to Arcana. Sick. Dirty 20.
That's good. Thwick, you get the sense you've been here before, and that this building to your southwest may have some answers.
It's happening. I'm getting the deja vu that we've most of us have experienced so far. It's the southwest building. I feel like we're gonna get some answers there. So, let's all head that direction. The deja vu feeling hasn't thrown us off yet, I guess.
Sure, if we're dead, you're the one who died first, so I'll trust your gut instincts in this place. So.
Nobody's died since deja vu started.
You are on this road that is about 30 feet wide. That's also 30 feet off the ground. What do you want to do to get down? About 100 feet in front of you, you see where the road is like collapsed down to where it is sloping to the ground.
Can we see how easy it is to scale down the
You have to
road?
get closer.
Yeah, I want to
Well,
walk
if we
towards
can,
the broken, a built-in
sloping.
slide. That seems
Yeah.
helpful.
As you walk towards the built-in slide, you see there's a lot of dust that's piled up on this road as well. And as you go by, you see the remains of ancient, well, old now, but futuristic to you looking vehicles of metal and glass and maybe rubber tires. And you see the remains and scatterings of maybe luggage or the pieces of clothing that have all but faded away. Everything here is kind of somber mood. Everything is still. And as you walk closer to the edge of the slide, as was called, you do see that it is definitely passable. There is lots of coiled pieces of metal sticking out from where it's collapsed that could provide some footholds to help to make the descent easier. And you see that it does descend into the road below that is mostly covered by these mounds and dunes of brown gray dust.
May I suggest, I know that the three of us each have 50 feet of hempen rope as part of our standard STU supplies. Possibly if we tie them together and then tie it to one of these one of these stationary wagons here, we can create an anchor and then use the rope to help us descend while using the footholds.
I hand over my rope.
Yeah, we shouldn't need all of them, should we?
Well, I'm not sure. Is it 150 feet down this slide?
No, the slide itself is at a decent angle, but it's only about 30 feet down because it's just
Perfect. I don't actually need any of your rope except for mine, so I will go ahead and hook this up to this nearby wagon here.
All right, go ahead and give me a survival check as you tie that rope.
Oh,
Why do I feel like that's not your best skill?
He's got a guidebook for everything.
I'll
do
give
have
him
a
the help action. You know, I've tied a knot or two in my time.
Okay, you can roll with advantage then.
That would be an 18.
Good, 18, got it. You tie a secure rope and you're able to throw it down and feel like you have a pretty good purchase to be able to rappel down. Chaos.
Does it the rabbit go over the
You want to go through.
hole or
You go
through the hole?
through the shell, and then you're gonna want to
Through the shell.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
yeah. You dig your hole in the beach, and you put it through the shell, and you pull it tight.
Excellent. Wonderful.
Chaos, yes. What did you want to be doing?
Can I tell what the dust is made of? Like, is this house dust that's settled? Is this like dust in a desert dust? Is this like ash dust?
How would Chaos determine that? Would you smell it? You
touch
could
it,
taste
feel
it,
it,
touch it?
all of the above. Maybe not lick it unless it
Put it
smells.
into a little
Did we
line
specifically
and snort
talk about not licking things?
That's why I said we're gonna
as
smell
a
it
rule.
first.
Right.
I think step 1, touch it. Step 2, lick it.
Yeah,
And then step 3 will
like-
split the party.
You bring it up and you finger it, rub it between your fingers. It's ashy. It leaves a little bit of residue on your fingers. It's very smooth feeling as well.
Does it feel like if I can scoop it up, does it feel basically weightless?
Yes.
I smear
it's-
it. I like I'm gonna climb the rope, you know, like I chalk my hands up
Nice.
with it
Yep.
before climbing.
It's good.
And you chalk up at your hands and then you go to grab the rope and you realize this stuff is actually pretty slick. It may have actually been detrimental. So you were going to end up having to like wipe your hands off on your breechers a little bit, a little too much there.
Not my smartest move, but I stand by it.
Who's going down first?
I grab onto all four of my limbs, grab onto the rope, and start going down.
Okay. So Thwick goes first. Who's next?
I'll go next.
Okay. Then we've got Bick.
Can I just go down next to them? Because I don't need the rope.
Yeah, you can. It's not terribly difficult, but go ahead and make a athletics as you are climbing down.
Oh, I think I got a little too ashy there.
So with the two, as you are climbing down, you are confidently kind of teasing your teammates as they're using the rope and you're using your natural climbing ability, but your foot does find a small collection of the ash that has slipped in there, and you slip out. Now you are 15 feet over the ground. You're about halfway down. I'm going to give you a chance to make a dexterity saving throw. If you can get me a 16 or higher, you're going to be fine. You're going to land like a cat.
25.
25. Well, with prowess that would have pleased a superhero, you do a perfect 3-point landing, hand over, like just landing with your hand up in the air, and as you land, you send out a cloud of this ash around you, and it does get up into your fur and in your whiskers, and you are getting the sense that you're gonna have to bathe for days to get this out of you. Is this sends this cloud that kind of just ripples out, and that ripple, as you guys watch climbing down, it seems to extend and extend and extend as it almost forms waves, like it was dropping a stone in a pond, as this ripple effect happens across the ash.
I guess we're lucky the ash wasn't like miles deep that she landed in.
It looks like the ash is, depending on the area, 3 to 4 feet deep.
Okay.
Khaos just starts licking the tip of her tail because dust.
As you start licking the tip of your tail because of the dust,
Just
you're
it's an instinct.
tasting the dust. It tastes a little bit like, you know, when you overcook meat and you burn it?
No.
Can't
relate.
You've
Not
never
this guy.
never done it. I have never overcooked a steak in my life. That's what it tastes like. It tastes a bit like charred meat.
So I kind of pause, like debating, do I want to stop because it's revolting, or do I really want to clean?
Frank, you are climbing down last, I believe.
Yeah.
All right, you are all now on the ground in this small crater of relatively stable, clean area that Khaos's impact has made. You are essentially in the middle of the X, if you will, that these roads made. The location that Thwick had the deja vu sensation for is to your southwest.
Well, I suggest we carefully hoof it that way and maybe make sure we're not, falling into any pits or anything beneath all this.
I have oh my gosh, I gotta forget the name. The band of endless daggers or whatever it is. So I can basically continually pull daggers off and shoot them. Could I do that as a way to see, like, if the ground is stable? So, like, if there's a pit, the dagger would go deeper versus just kind of small poof of dust. Versus
You can
big
certainly
poof of dust.
try.
Okay, I'm gonna try.
So go ahead and
Is it an
what I'm gonna
attack roll?
Well, what I'm going to do for this is, what is your attack modifier?
That is a terrific question.
It's your proficiency plus your dex, so...
6.
Okay. So what I want you to do is you're going to roll a d20 and add 6 for your perception, because you're just trying to see what you can do throwing these daggers.
Okay.
So are you letting her lead the way with this?
I'm definitely not walking in front of someone throwing endless daggers.
I wouldn't throw them at you.
Okay. So what did you get at that chaos?
25.
25. So as you are walking, you are throwing these daggers, and judging by what you've already walked through and you guys are following behind her, this ash seems to go between 4 and 5 feet deep. and you're trying to walk carefully. And so far, you don't see that the ground is going deeper at any point. You are meandering your way down towards this southwest corner where the building is. And as you are walking and you're being careful, I would like each of you to essentially give me a stealth check. You're not trying to be stealthy, but this is how carefully you are walking and trying to be.
Thwick rolled a 16.
Okay.
Bick got a 10.
Okay.
Chaos got 18.
18. Good.
Nat 20 over here for a 23 from Frank.
Frank, that big guy, is stepping as gingerly as a ballet artist.
I'm more used to than anybody walking on a field of gray. You know, I know how to get
Walking
through.
on shells?
So as you were walking, I had Khaos up front. Who was following behind Khaos?
I probably would have.
I would have suggested Bick to be second.
Okay. And that's what he was about to say too, is Bick would have been second. Thwick, where would you have been in that mix?
I would have been, I'd say third. Sure.
Okay. You got Frank up
I'd
the
be
rear.
last. I'm not friends with these people, you know. They can stay close to each other.
As you're walking along, everyone's going pretty smoothly. The ground feels solid beneath everyone's feet. Bick, as you're following Khaos, you step on something that rolls under your feet, and as your weight falls on it, it crunches. It feels like you stepped on something that is roughly tubular, about 4 inches in diameter, and it crunched when you stepped on it. And that crunch, the weird thing is, it almost echoed and everybody heard it.
The hell was that?
That does not sound good.
I think Bick passed gas. Are you okay, Bick, up there?
No, I think I stepped on something.
Don't move.
I think it was one of Thwick's over here, future. What do you call a future ancestor? Progeny? What is it the opposite way? It's not an ancestor.
It's a
Future relative?
There we
Descendant.
go. Descendants. Yeah.
One clarification.
Yes.
Did we tell Thwick what the bracelet does that we put on him while he was passed out?
We could presume you did,
Okay.
but
He probably has a book on it already. He's
Yeah.
brand new.
Is
No,
he
chapter
aware?
12 of the Special Tactics Unit Handbook is magic items, and so I would
Perfect.
have flipped it
Perfect.
through and identified
If we're gonna
it,
explode again, I don't.
so Bick, everyone is looking at you. What are you doing? You were told not to move.
I'm not moving. I just mouth open. I'm looking at Khaos like,
Can I?
I try to. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say get closer to him and like dust around where his foot is with my tail, like one of those. God, not an escalator.
Like an excavator?
God, no, sorry. Anthropologist, like.
Archaeologist.
Thank
There you
you.
go.
Yeah.
Words are
Yeah.
hard. It's not my strong suit today.
You're
So just
killing it.
dusting to see,
Yep.
gently.
So as you walk towards him, just give me a straight D20 roll. No reason.
No reason at all. This
Seems
is not.
benign.
This is
Sometimes DMs just have you roll for fun. Because you just like doing it. There's no reason.
Funny rolls.
Yeah. As you walk towards him, you feel your foot hit a thicker kind of object that you had missed the first time around, and as your toe hits it, you hear that same kind of echoing noise. You didn't step on it, but you kind of hit something with your foot.
Nobody move. Can I use my mage hand to, like, wipe away? I think
Yeah.
Bick is closest to me, so I can see what he stepped on.
As you do that, as you wipe it away, you start to reveal it's about 5 feet long, a gray-brown, humanoid, leathery skinned husk of a being. Its skin stretched over bone to the point that it is almost only bone. You see it has a skull. Its eyes just dark sockets where this leathery skin is all sunken in, and its mouth is like pulled back tight in rigor with this forever grinning grimace of a scream on its face. You see that it has these faded, thin pieces of long, stringy hair coming from its head. And just as Khaos has kicked it in essentially its chest and Bick has stepped on its right lower leg, you hear this cracking noise as it starts to animate and move and goes to sit up. And as it does, you hear this louder moaning sound start to rise around you, and 4 more rise up around you, and I need initiative rolls from all of you.
Yeah, that checks out.
Thwick got a 20.
Khaos also got a 20. Mine was dirty.
Bick got a 12.
Imagine having advantage on initiative rolls and going last in the group. Couldn't be me. I got an 11. So.
Okay.
It's a whole thing you took for this.
Khaos and Thwick, we can either have you roll off, or whichever one of you has the higher dex can go first.
You probably have higher dex than I do.
Plus 3, total 17.
Yeah, you can go first.
Okay.
All right, so to help make this all make sense, you are all clustered within about 5 feet of each other in a rough line. You have Thwick, you are behind Bick.
The worst names ever for it to make this all make sense. Thwick, you're behind Bick.
Yeah.
We just need a
Khaos,
Glick and a Mick.
Khaos, you have turned around, and so where everyone else, you've got Thwick, Bick, there's a Bick, Thwick, and then Frank in a straight line. You are basically diagonal from Bick, if that makes sense. Sort of. Okay. Right underneath Bick, see, I'm having to think really hard. Thanks, appreciate this. Right underneath Bick is this husk that is starting to rise up. There are 4 more that have all started to get up and out of the ground. They are coming from each of the cardinal directions. So you have one that is coming from your south, one is coming from the north, and one is coming from the east and one from the west. They are all rising, and they are all going to start being 10 feet from the group, except for the one that is literally being stepped on by Bick. The turn order is Khaos, Thwick, Bick, Frank, and then the husks are gonna go. So, clear as mud?
Clear as mud.
Perfect. So we will start with the top of the turn order. Khaos, what are you wanting to do?
So the first individual is sitting up, right?
He's sitting
front of
up.
me.
He's half restrained just because Bick is stepping on him. You see his arms coming out, and at the end of his hands, where you would expect fingers to be, you see nothing but like sharpened bone coming out of what the hands are left.
So, at an instinct, kind of like cats will jump on things, my character's gonna jump. So, like, grab the skull,
Okay.
and then put the feet on the shoulder and just yoink.
I like it.
Claws to sever if there's anything like at the spine.
Okay. Go ahead and make an attack roll with advantage on this character because it's still basically prone and half restrained by Bick because it's being stepped on.
Would I add? I would add my proficiency to this, right?
Well, this is with advantage, so you can roll twice. First of all, and then we'll take the higher of the 2 rolls, and then we're attacking with your... It's an unarmed attack.
Yeah.
Although you get your claws. Do your claws count
do.
as a weapon attack. So I think you get to
4
add.
of damage, I believe.
Yeah. It's
In which
D4.
case you get your proficiency bonus and all that too. So
Okay. So then total of 16.
well, that definitely hits and gets you to lock in on it. And because it is relatively fragile and you're sitting here and you're just trying to twist and pull its head off, let's do a contested strength roll
Okay.
and see what you got here.
I rolled a 5.
So did it. So so you guys have tied. It keeps its head, but you can roll your damage for the attack with your claws.
2.
I think your claw attack would be a D4.
It says
Maybe it
D6
might be
on here.
D6.
It's cat's melee.
Well, we'll go with that. So you do 2 points of damage to it. Fantastic. Anything else you want to do?
Would this count as a sneak attack since I was technically behind him when he hit?
Well, you had advantage on it, so you get sneak attack anyway. So you could add your sneak attack damage.
Awesome. 9.
All right. So you do a total of
Perfectly
11 damage.
Nice. I see where we had confusion though, because the different books for the tabaxi, one of them is a D6, one of them is a D4 for
That
what
makes
the
sense.
rolls are. So, yeah.
The updated is D4, right?
Volo's is D4, Mordekainen is D6. Is that
I just
You know what?
trusted
Okay,
D&D
yeah.
on it.
I'll give you the higher one anyway. It's more fun. What's the point in playing a cat with retractable claws if you can't do some decent damage with it?
And we're special forces, you know? You're probably
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Or you guys.
You were filing those suckers.
Yeah.
when you started.
All right. Anything else you want to do, Chaos?
How many feet is the next one away from us?
The next closest one to you, you are 10 feet away. You have one is basically at your 7 o'clock, that's 10 feet away, and one is at your about 3 o'clock, 10 feet away.
I think I'm just gonna stay put.
Okay. That takes us to Thwick.
I turn to Frank and I say, don't be alarmed, but here in my spellbook here, I do this for everybody, but I create a little profile and I estimate all of our stats, our statistics. Chapter 13 of the Special Tactics Unit's Handbook is all races, their strengths and weaknesses, so I've generally looked at your statistics, what they would be, and I'm going to edit them for you now. I think this would be most beneficial in protecting us. And so you now have a +2 to your AC. You, let me bring up the spell. You have a +2 to your AC, you have advantage on dexterity saving throws, and you get an additional action on each of your turns.
Additional
I'm casting the
action?
haste. I'm casting the haste spell on Frank.
Nice. That is wicked. All right. Anything you want to do?
Your additional action can only be used to take the attack, one weapon attack only, dash, disengage, hide, or use an object action for that one. So,
Okay.
but that is a concentration spell.
Okay. Very good. I'll make a note here that you are concentrating. Anything else you want to do? Any movement?
No, however I can be behind him, you know, if it's more protective to me be at a certain angle.
Right
with
now,
them.
you are basically sandwiched between Frank, who's just like to your north, and Bick, who's just to your south. You do have 10 feet away from you, kind of on either side, 2 of these husks, but you're probably as protected as you're going to be right now.
Yep, I stay put.
Okay, Frank, to give you some context to it, you've got the 3 of you, you've got yourself, Thwick, and Bick, who are in a line. Frank, behind you, 10 feet away, is a husk.
Okay.
And then if you are facing forward, essentially at your 3 and your 9, 10 feet away, are 2 more husks. And then at your direct 12, 10 feet away, is the husk that Bick is standing on.
Okay. But it's Bick's turn
Bick's
right now.
turn,
Correct.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, you're correct.
Oh,
You're
it
correct.
is.
Bick, and then Frank. I'm sorry. I got excited because you got haste, so I was
I know.
going right to you. I was hasted.
Don't get hasty now, Ryan.
Yeah,
Don't
I
skip
was.
Bick.
So, Bick, what do you want to do? You're standing on this husk.
So I'm standing on its like lower leg, right?
Correct. Right lower leg.
So I'm gonna walk forward and just kind of stand on its chest,
Okay.
just its torso in general, and then grab my rapier and just kind of go to slice the neck and help Chaos out with her deheading.
Okay, deheading. I like that. Go ahead and make an attack roll with advantage, since this this husk is pretty much restrained.
I feel kind of bad. Not that bad. Not bad enough I won't do it. Dirty 20.
Okay, definitely hits. Roll your damage.
3.
Okay, you do 3 points of deheading damage, as you called it. Head stubbornly stays put, but it is definitely weakened, where it is attached to the rest of the leathery body. Anything else you want to do?
I'm just going to keep standing here. I feel like that's my biggest contribution right now.
Okay. We are now looking at Frank.
Here we go.
I whispered in Frank's ear, your speed is also doubled.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm familiar with the haste spell. Quit flapping your mandibles at me. Let's do this. While he's doing that, I drop my trench coat down. And I just limbering up. I got a tattoo on my chest that says "Life is Shell," and I just yeah. I want to go for the one that
tattooed your shell. I have questions, but go ahead.
Yeah, I want to get the one that is behind us first. I think I want to head for him. So that's 10 feet of movement, right?
That's correct.
Okay. I'm throwing haymakers on this because I'm feeling pretty jazzed up, and also when I throw haymakers as a pugilist, it means I have to roll with disadvantage, but I also have advantage on the first round of combat on anybody who hasn't taken their turn yet. So it's just going to be, it'll even out to a single roll. And it means that I get max damage if I hit on my die every time. So we're going to, we'll go for the one who's behind us first with an attack roll, which will be a 13 to hit.
That hits.
Oh, hell yeah. So he takes 13 damage right away off of that first one. Just pow, right in the kisser to that guy. Just
beautiful.
Nail him.
And you hear this cracking noise as most of the teeth shatter out of its mouth and this leathery face splits.
Yeah,
Still standing.
Sorry about this, pal, but I think I'm already dead, but I'm trying not to die again. And then I just take another swing at him real quick for another 13 to hit, but
it hits.
Hits for another 13 damage. So,
okay.
26
It looks pretty rough. Still standing.
All right. Well, we're going to go ahead then, and I'm going to hit him with the old 1-2. I'm using a moxie point, so I can do the old 1-2, so I can take 2 more unarmed strikes as my bonus action. And so I rolled a 21 to hit on that one, so that is another 13 damage. I'm aiming right for his head to just try to punch it clean off if I can.
With that damage, yes, I'll allow you to punch it clean off because it only had 1 hit point remaining, and you've just pummeled the crap out of this guy. That last one knocks its head flying.
All right.
The corpse stands there and then crumbles to ash that perfectly mimics the rest of the ash you see on the ground.
All right, and I quickly turn around and head toward the one that Bick is standing on, I guess, who's already taken damage.
Yeah, you got 5, 10, 15, about 20 feet to get there.
That's perfect.
You can do it. You'll now be standing at a diagonal, but you can get to him because you can't stand on top of Thwick.
Makes sense. But I got plenty of movement, so I'm going to go ahead and use my other bonus attack from that old 1-2 to try to hit this one
with advantage because he's essentially restrained.
Oh, perfect. Well, we'll hope maybe we get the we didn't get a crit, but we did get a 25 to hit, so I feel pretty good.
That'll hit
about that. So 13 damage to him.
Okay,
pounding on him, and then
he's go ahead.
I was just gonna say I've got an extra action because of the haste on top of that, which I can use for 1 more attack, so why not do one last haymaker at this guy while I'm still feeling pretty good.
Okay.
And that one's going to be a 20 to hit, not natural. So
that'll hit.
That's another 13 bludgeoning damage right into him.
So as you go to punch, are you going for his head?
Sure, yeah, we were trying to take
so
it
you've got Khaos trying to dig in with her claws to pull it up. You've got
uppercut
Bick, who is like cutting at his neck, and you just come in and you just like wham, like hitting a t-ball off of a stand. You knock its head loose, and Khaos and Bick, you are suddenly just coated in this gray ash as it just goes everywhere, and the body dissolves in ash around you. So that is 2 down. There are still 3 remaining.
Ashes to ashes, dust to dust, and I still got 30 feet of movement left, I think, so I want to get as... I don't have any more actions.
Start running laps around.
Yeah. But I want to put myself as close or like between the remaining ones and the rest of the group, if I can.
At this time, there is one that is 5 feet away from you. It's going to be where you're facing. It's going to be directly to your left, and that's going to be the closest one. And then there are 2 others. One that is roughly at your 11 o'clock, that is 20 feet away, and one that is directly to your right, that is 15 feet away.
I'll do the 15 feet away one.
Okay.
The 3 of them grouped together can handle the guy that's 5 feet away, I hope.
Yep. So you want to be standing like within melee range of like.
I'll stay by the 5 foot one because of the fact that Thwick specifically was trying to put himself between me and them anyway before he put the haste on me. So I'd feel bad if I abandoned him.
You can get 5 feet closer to him if you wanted to.
That's what I would
I'll
like
put you right there.
Yeah.
All right. So perfect. Got it. So you are now standing 5 feet away from Thwick, but directly next to the Huskies right there.
And I try to intimidate you, but I got a feeling, the sense that you guys aren't particularly alive. So I just put them up. I'm ready.
All right, perfect. Great use of your turn. So I'm gonna let the Husk go first. The first one's gonna go is the one that is 10 feet to the west of Thwick. It's going to move in, lumbering on unsteady, thin, spindly legs, and it tries to take 2 swipes at Thwick. The first swipe is a 5 to hit.
Does not hit.
And the second swipe is going to be a 23 to hit.
That hits.
All right.
That'll do it.
And that's going to be 5 points of slashing damage as its bony fingers rake across your carapace, finding a little bit of soft, gushy parts to injure there.
So can I interject real fast?
Yes.
So I've seen Thwick die essentially recently, so I have some protective instinct.
Okay.
So if he's going to get hit, I would want to use cutting words to reduce the damage.
Okay. Well, he just took 5 points of damage. If you want to use cutting words.
And that's a D8.
See how that works. So let's, for those who don't know, at 3rd level, you can use a wit to distract, confuse, or sap the confidence and competence of others. When a creature that you can see within 60 feet of you makes an attack roll, an ability check, or damage roll, you can use a reaction to expend one of your bardic inspirations. You basically roll the D8, and then I will choose whether or not that'll succeed or fail. So you got a 6. So that'll take it from a 23 down to a
17.
17. The 17
I
still
was doing
hit?
that for the damage. I don't know
for
if it
the
makes a
damage.
difference. Yeah.
No, it does. So if you rolled a 6, then it nullifies the damage.
Nice.
Be it no damage.
I don't have to roll a Constitution saving throw then for my concentration.
No, you don't take any damage at all, so no Constitution saving throw. Yep. All right, sorry. Yep. I just had to look how that worked. Perfect.
Yeah. The fact that it works on damage is kind of wild to me.
Does it work on damage? That's crazy.
That's what my sheet says.
Is your sheet alive?
It says you have to
It's
use
from
it
D&D
before the
Beyond.
GM determines whether the attack roll or ability check succeeds or fails, though.
But that doesn't make sense on damage.
That's weird.
I just
way
don't
it's
understand how
worded.
you make the
It's
check
worded
before
weird.
it deals damage if you do it on a damage roll.
Yeah. Tell you what,
Well,
we're
because
gonna
it's
go with
like
it.
it's like, oh, it hits.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I want to use
see.
it.
Yeah.
It hits. Oh, I want to use it on the damage roll.
Yep, that actually does.
So that was how I was
now.
essentially using it. I just didn't want to interrupt.
No, it's fine. We're all learning here too, because we don't often get to play at these high levels, and so it's a chance for us to learn some features we don't get to use. So
Yeah,
I think you're good
got
to
it.
use damage. Okay, so in the end, it did try to damage you, but the cutting words that were spouted out by Bick seemed to blunt the effect, and you took no damage from its attack. You've got the one to the south that is going to lumber forward. It's going to move its movement speed. It's now going to be within 5 feet of both Bick and of Khaos. It's going to attack Khaos. So the first attack is going to be a 21 to hit, and then the second attack on Khaos is going to be a 7 to hit.
21 hits.
I'm guessing the 7 does not. All right, it's going to take. You're going to take 6 points of slashing damage as it rakes across your fur and adding a slash through your clothing. And then the last one doesn't try to move at all because Frank presented himself dukes up, so it just takes 2 attacks on Frank. First one was a natural 20 for a 25 to hit.
All right, that one will hit.
And the second one is an 8.
Yeah, that one does not. I feel good about that.
So we're going to do double 5 plus 3. So you take 13 points of slashing damage from that one hit. As it crits and it finds just that soft place right where your arm comes out of your shell, and it just tears a deep gash, dealing those 13 points of damage to you.
That felt poetic, actually, being 13.
I know. It really did. Yeah. It's that boxer thing. You hit him real good, and then it hits you right back, and they're like, oh, okay, it's good.
That's fair. And that's the end of their turn. So we're back to the top of the turn order, which means that we are back to Khaos.
I have one 5 feet away from me on the...
Basically, you've got one right in front of you. So you're standing here at like 90 degrees from Bick, and there's one in between both of you right there.
Okay.
And because of the positioning, you're going to have advantage because you're basically on the side, so you get to have the attack there. So you can take your sneak attack on it.
Awesome. I'm gonna launch at him with claws again.
Okay.
Because he's so close.
So make an attack roll with advantage.
Math is hard. 23.
That'll hit. So go ahead, roll your damage.
A 6.
Okay.
And then since this is a new turn, I can do an extra 3d6. 13. Total of 19.
19 damage. So you wail on this thing, doing a tremendous amount of damage to it. It looks like it's beaten pretty hard, but definitely still standing. Is there any movement you want to take on it?
I just want to get behind it.
Okay.
Which is like half a step, probably.
But pretty much. You're able to move behind it, as it is currently it was kind of engaged between you and between Bick. Cool. Anything else you want to do?
No.
All right. We are now at Thwick.
Okay, Thwick takes out he's holding his book in his quill with his little hands. With his big hands, he takes out he's got a wand that he takes out, and he says, okay, my little friends, let's go. And he like swings his wand in the air, and 3 little bees start swarming around his wand, and he's casting magic missile on the one that's Khaos just attacked.
Okay. So that one you're catching magic missile on. Go ahead and roll a damage for each dart.
Okay, so the first dart is gonna do.
What level did you do that?
Just first level.
Okay.
2 points of force damage. The second one is 3 points of force damage, and the third one is not letting me roll. The third one is 4 points of force damage.
Wow, that's pretty great. So for a total of 9 damage, almost like you're seeing it get shot, that gets hit, and you deal that extra 9 damage. It's looking really rough. Parts of its torso is now just missing large holes. It is beaten hard, still standing, but not much left of it. Anything else you want to do?
Casted it at a second level. No. And when he was saying that, that's what was in his head. But of course, everybody else just hears as he was talking and casting that spell.
And Thwick, just so you know, you still have that one husk that is literally right up on your side. If you wanted to move, you can, but you may take an opportunity attack.
Yeah, I don't think I could move. So
okay. All right, and that's going to take us to Bick.
Okay. Oh, I changed my name, if that helps any of you.
Oh, you just changed it?
You just
Well, no, if you look on Discord.
Yes, it
Like my
says
label.
Bick, not Thwick. I appreciate
good.
that.
Thank you.
It's very helpful.
So, okay, there's one by Thwick,
Yes.
a different one by Frank.
Yes, and there's one basically directly in front of you at your 12 o'clock.
Okay. Have we heard these things make any noises?
They seem to be making that god-awful moaning noise that seems to mimic the wind really well.
Okay, so as far as like forming syllables and things, they're probably not capable of that, I would assume.
You certainly haven't heard anything like that.
Okay, not a weird question to ask, you know?
Very normal thing.
Well, I'm gonna, with that one right in front of me, I'm gonna use my rapier and try to slash it.
Okay.
Not trying anything fancy, I'm just trying to hit the center of its body.
Perfect. Make an attack roll.
Ooh, 11.
That hits.
Oh, all right. And a 3 damage.
You do 3 damage. It is looking really rough, but still standing.
I am not gonna move right now. I don't feel like that's a great idea.
Okay. All right. That takes us to Frank. Frankie, you've got a husk right in front of you.
There's one right in front of me. Are there any of them that are within 5 to 10 feet of each other?
Yes. So if you could think that you are facing the one who's right in front of you, if you were to go counterclockwise to about the 7, 8 o'clock position, you would be within melee range of the one that wants to attack Thwick and the one that Bick just hit.
Okay. Well,
Now
that's
you've
good.
you've got movement to get there, but you probably take opportunity to leave the one that you're about to leave, but you could get in there without taking any of the opportunity attacks. If you want to try to move, because you got that much movement speed right now.
Yeah, I definitely, I'll do that then, I guess, if I can circle around this guy to be within, I guess, range of 2 of them. Or get,
So what we'll do is I'll just roll an opportunity attack against you from the one guy. It's only gonna be a 15.
That ain't hitting.
It's an 18 to hit. Excuse me. It was
that
13
ain't
plus
hitting
5.
either.
All right. So he whiffs on you, and you use your movements would be 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. You're going to use 30 feet of movement speed, but it's going to get you like wrapping all the way around to where you are now in melee range of both of those other 2.
Okay. And where was the third one? I know we already established what I was doing, but I am curious if that one's within 10 feet of them.
The third one is 10 feet away from Thwick,
Okay.
but it is now 15 feet away from you.
Okay. I'm just trying to figure out, because I've got the crusher feat where I can move something 5 feet. When I hit it the first time, I was like, I wonder if I could knock these guys all close to each other and then trigger this lightning gauntlet off.
Not quite, unfortunately. And in fact, right now, the way you're positioned to be able to hit both of these, you've got one who's basically going to be on your left, and the other one's going to be kind of catacording to your right.
Okay.
So they're not grouped. They're separate. You are the 5 foot space between them.
Great. Well, first thing then I'll do is I'll take I'm not going to be throwing haymakers any longer, but I'll take attack at the one that they haven't been hitting first.
Okay.
I guess.
That's the one that's basically directly to your left, and that's the one that is that tried to attack Thwick, and it has not taken any damage yet.
Okay. That's perfect then. I will take an attack at him first for a 27 to hit. So close to a nat 20, but not.
Yeah, that hits.
Yeah.
Surprisingly.
And would you know, I rolled an 8, so 13 damage to him on that first attack right there.
We're starting strong.
Yeah. All right. Well, I get 2 attacks on that attack action. The next one is 17 to hit.
That hits.
And that will be for 9 damage on that hit. And then I will just use my bonus action to kind of slam my fist together with these 2 gauntlets to put off a lightning pulse to try to hit both of these guys with that.
Yep. And you can hit both those guys in melee range. You can direct it towards them. So you are going to do your D8 of damage.
Beautiful. D8 of lightning damage. 6 lightning damage.
Hey, it's not bad. So, all right. So the guy who's not gotten hit is now takes some damage too. You've done a great job. Good use of your turn. Anything else you want to do?
No.
Do you have another attack that you can
Oh yeah,
do,
I
or
still
did you
have an
already do it?
extra action. I forgot because of the.
Oh, right.
Because of the haste. So I can only do one more punch. I will do it at.
The one who's to your left is the most hurt.
Yeah, I'll do it toward him. I want to lower the numbers if possible.
Okay.
So
Yep.
That's what we'll take a swing at. And that's gonna hit 21 to hit.
That does.
It will be 13 damage. Hell yes on these rolls.
You punch
my
center
God.
mass, and as your fist goes through the husk, it just vaporizes into this gray ash and just puffs like you hit a puffball, and that ash covers you, Thwick, and Bick as it is destroyed.
The only thing I'd like to add is before I did that, I started holding my breath because I can hold my breath for an hour and I don't want to breathe in all these gross skeletons. So.
Okay. Frank, that's a good turn. Anything else you want to do?
That'll be it for me.
We have reduced the field. There are only 2 left. The first one is the one that you were standing by. It lumbers into the closest person to it, which is again Thwick. Thwick, it does its first attack against you for a 17 to hit.
That hits.
And the second attack is going to be another 17 to hit.
Yes.
So the first damage is 4, and the second damage is, 4 again.
So what's
So
my
8
bracelet,
slashing.
my gauntlet?
Yep.
Can it reduce? It reduces.
Basically, the gauntlet takes all 8 damage and then shatters. So your health pool is not touched.
I'm doing it.
Cool. Yep. So it just. So you see this creature comes in. Its claws out, and it rakes against him. But as it's raking against him, this shield of energy just sparks. In the first slash, you see the shield there as it comes through, and it catches the second one. You see the second slash going across him, hits the shield. The arm swings wide, and as it does, the energy just shatters in this little shower of sparks around Thwick.
Oof. Well, thank you, Chaos. I messaged that to her.
And the last standing husk is going to take a swing, both swings now at Bick. First one is a 23 to hit, and the second one is a 5 to hit.
I'm good on the 5.
Okay. You take 5 points of slashing damage as it slides its clawed, gnarled, bony hand out and rakes down your right arm.
Okay.
And we're back to top of the turn order. Chaos.
I salute Thwick for the thanks, and then I'm gonna take another swipe at the guy that's standing in front of me, but it is not from behind.
And you have advantage on that attack.
25.
That'll hit. And you can roll damage and get your sneak attack as well.
Da-da-da. 3 and 9 for a total of 12.
You destroy this, and a shower of ash, the way you're attacking it, blows forward and covers Bick and Frank in ash as this husk is gone.
Gross.
Any other movement you want to do? There's one more. It is 10 feet away at basically your 2 o'clock. It is standing right next to Thwick,
I will run over there and kind of position myself.
like behind it.
Yeah.
Perfect. You are there. Okay. And we're going to go to Thwick now.
There's one right next to me.
There's one right next to you. The way I have you stand, it's like just to your left-hand side, and you've seen this thing just try to attack you twice and would have done some decent damage, but your shield took it.
And it's right from 5 feet. So if I made a ranged attack, then it would be bad.
Correct.
The ranged spell.
Well, it'd be disadvantage.
No, I don't want to do that. Then we're gonna give him some more bees. And this one looks pretty good, or it looks.
This
looks
one
bad?
looks pretty healthy.
Yeah, we're gonna do
He won't.
4 bees.
4 bees.
4 bees.
Taste the sting of Thwick's magic missile.
Yeah, my magic missile, my magic bees. And,
4 bees is like Furbies, only worse.
You know what? But he's gonna scribble down real quick in his book because as a as a order of scribes, a wizard, I can change the damage type of any spell if I have a different spell that does different types. So for my for the magic missiles this time, he's gonna make them be the flying fire ants, and he's gonna do fire damage for these magic missiles.
Okay, nice.
And so he's gonna summon 4 flying fire ants, which is a thing that exists.
This dust is all highly flammable. Ignites.
I'm not thinking about that. But hopefully,
an inferno erupts around you.
The end.
The first one is gonna do 3 points of fire damage. Second one is 5 points. The third one is 2 points. It's a total of 10.
Mm-hmm.
And then 2 points on the last one.
Right, so you do 12 points
12
of
fire damage.
And it looks like it went from looking pretty good to not looking so good. It's still standing. Now it is kind of burning, and you get that charred meat smell. Really pervades your senses, and it smells a bit like a
smells like
overdone barbecue.
Smells like that steak I had at Ryan's house at one time.
That's hurtful.
You said it.
Okay, do you want to take any movement?
No, I don't think so. I'm just gonna stand there.
Perfect. All right, we're now to Bick. Bick, this husk, if you just turned about 90 degrees, you could be facing it.
And how far away is it from me?
It's within 5 feet. It's within your melee range.
Oh, then I'm just gonna, I guess, turn to face it. That seems like a good first step.
Sounds good.
And then I'm gonna stab it, and this time I'm just really digging really deep within myself to not roll a 1 for the damage.
Okay. Go ahead and make an attack roll first. It's
21 to hit.
Believe it or not, that hits.
Oh.
And that's a 3, so 5 damage.
Hey,
Big
you do
leagues now.
5 damage. You cut a deep gash and no blood. It just like opens up the flayed skin, and you can see the skeleton beneath. Any movement? Oh, and I should have. Go ahead and make another attack roll. You would have had advantage because of the flanking on this. I just want to see if you get nat 20.
Oh, a 19, so close.
Okay.
Ooh.
With the digital dice, I can't like fudge it a little bit.
You bump the table. Okay, do you want to do any movement?
No, I'm gonna just stay put right there.
Okay.
And look really intimidating too, so it's hopefully not gonna hit me next.
Frank, for you to get positioning, you just basically need to move 10 feet around Thwick or Bick, and you'd be right there, ready to pummel.
Sounds good to me. Sounds good to me. I don't think you're gonna need to be doing any moving. Frankie Clubs is stepping up right now.
And because you are attacking this guy from behind, you have advantage.
He's not gonna make it, guys. I'm just gonna say.
No spoilers.
A 26 to hit on the first of these 5 attacks that are coming at this guy.
Well, that hits.
All right. That is 10 damage on that one.
He takes it.
Perfect. Okay. And we got a 24 to hit on the next one.
Hits.
For only 8 damage this time.
That one's enough. How do you want to finish it and shower ash on all 4 of you?
I'm so jazzed up that I'm just like doing body blow, and it's like I want to go like full Matrix Smith punching Neo against a wall. Oh, yeah. I'm just like hitting him like a speed bag, just pulverizing him into dust into the ground.
Done. And you guys are covered in ash as he's just pulverized everywhere, and you keep swinging, swinging, and you actually keep blowing the air around so much that you clear a space, and you see that in the ground around you. As you have been swinging, there's a more clearing, and you see that the entire ground is covered in shallow graves. And in many other areas, you see bits of arms and legs and a head here, a torso there. You're moving your way towards this shelled out building, and you can tell that the way forward, gonna have to be careful.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I suggest we don't wake any more of our sleeping friends up, but we need to get the hell out of this place immediately.
As the haste spell ends, you do feel a wave of exhaustion, of lethargy, and you have one turn where you can't move or take actions until after your next turn. So you've got 6 seconds of feeling awful.
Catch my breath, you know. Oof.
A little strung out.
Yeah. I was feeling invigorated, but then like remembering my life comes back to me, and I immediately fade away from clobbering Franklin clubs back to Frank Club and put my jacket back on and just feel sad.
Now that you know what the peril is underneath the layers of dust, I want each of you to roll a dexterity check with advantage as you are making your way to where Thwick has indicated.
Thwick has a 17.
A 10 with advantage.
Got it? 10?
Chaos rolled a dirty 20.
Dirty 20?
Advantage.
I rolled 15s on both of my rolls.
Very good. As you guys make your way to this structure, you go inside of it, and what once was probably a large atrium, you see is now just open to the air, and you look up and you see this towering skeletal 20 stories tall, where the roof is all collapsed in, and you got this light streaming down, these dust motes kind of hanging in the air, and near the back corner, still high with this dust, you see the tear in reality of the purple blue shimmer of the fractured time. It is 20 feet away from you, and as you see it with your 10 Bick, you step this time on a full torso
Bick.
underneath the ground, and it echoes and it cracks, and you hear that moan. This time it seems to gather in tenor and pitch, as it's not just 1, 4, 10. It sounds like a multitude of moans start to come from the ground around you and outside.
Well, we gotta get through that rift.
Yeah, can you keep those
Run.
pin's ears in control for a second? Bick back there?
So I assume we're just sprinting at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess.
Everybody is sprinting. As you start to sprint, you see these corpses, these husks coming out. They are trying to make wild swipes at you. The moaning is almost unbearably loud as you all reach for the exit. And then in the same turn order, Khaos goes through, Thwick through, Bick through, Frank. As you are coming out, you feel something just briefly snag your khaki coat, and you hear tear as you reach and poof, fall. You get a blinding flash of yellow white light, and your eyes adjust to a dark but fire torchlit interior. You're in it's almost like a catacomb or a crypt. You see a large area of about 50 feet wide by another 50 feet tall. It's roughly octagonal in shape, and there's a series of stone pillars around it. You have somehow like crashed through a wall, and you're standing on the other side of the wall in this crypt-like interior. The stone is of a smooth white, it looks very ornate, marbled. You see that along the wall at the end of the room is from left to right, a jaw-dropping mosaic of these precious jewels and gold paint displaying an ever-weaving line flowing from a brilliant spark through the hands of an androgynous godlike elf being with flowing gray hair and a single right gray eye emanating light, and it has a patch over the left eye. The weave is represented from left to right, first by black pearls they're extremely valuable, and just looking at them, and those black pearls transition to blue sapphires, and then between the hands of this deity, you see this weave represented by diamonds. and then leaving this hands as it goes further to the left, you see that it switches to emeralds, and then finally, at the very end, stretching off into almost an infinity, its rubies are being represented. And in the center of this room is a 7-foot tall statue of the same being, his hands holding a large tray. In front of that tray, you see a tall, athletic human woman. Long, dark, braided hair pulled to a single line down her back, wearing a blue tank top and brown cargo shorts, sporting 2 low-slung pistols on either hip. And you see that she has just swept a collection of gems from that tray into her backpack. Besides her stands a handsome, relaxed-looking man with wavy brown hair, a half-tucked long-sleeve off-white shirt, khaki pants, and has a leather shoulder belt gun holster also containing 2 pistols hanging from it. He taps
I know their names.
the lady on the side and looking at the two of you, he says, Lana, cheese it, the fuzz is here. She turns and she says, crap, Nolan, how did they get onto us so fast? How's the UAC here? You fascist pigs? Can't you just leave the little guys alone? We worked so hard finding this place.
I know these 2 lousy, no good antiquity thieves. All right, these are the lowest scums. They got a rap sheet up to here. No surprise you're working together. You know, the scum gathers together at the bottom of the pond always.
Hey, what's it to you? Nolan looks at you. We gotta make a living. You see what these guys have done? They've cracked down on everything. There's no chance to make a living under the thumb of the UAC.
No chance to make a living? People make a living every day in this city, all right? It's a hard life, it's a miserable life, but that's what life's supposed to be. You don't get to go around grabbing whatever you want, taking from people. I got hired to find these 2. Anyway, this is fortuitous.
Lana looks at you. Don't you see? There's enough gems here for everybody. This place is amazing. Look at this. Look at the diamonds alone. This is worth billions, probably. We could easily split this. Don't make this about pride or law.
It ain't about the law or about pride. It's about doing what's right. Somebody hired me to take you 2 in, and that's what I'm gonna do.
How did you get here? We literally just walked in the door. Like, we literally just broke in. How are you even here? This makes no sense.
That part I really cannot answer for you. I genuinely don't know.
Hold on, you're hired to get these 2?
Yeah.
You're welcome.
All the places and all the world she could have walked into, she walked into my detective agency, that beautiful doll. She told me these 2 scammed her out of some antiquities, and her story stunk to high heaven. I don't believe a word of it, but her money seems good, so I might as well take it and take these 2 down.
Nolan and Lana are kind of inching away from your group, and they're saying, we don't have to have trouble. You can just let us walk out of here. We'll go back the way we came. And as you see, she's pointing, and across from you at a catty corner, there is a hole in the wall, and it looks like, from what you can see from the light shining through, that it is actually something that has been dug through as part of the soon-to-be subway system that is being constructed through Daggerford, and that they have burrowed through that wall and found their way into this underground temple, crypt, whatever you want to call it. And they have been in the as soon as you got here, seem to have been taking things off of the dais.
Perhaps magical gems that aren't meant to be taken off of the dais that will break time if they're removed.
Well, friends, this Frank has been helpful to us. I think it's time for us to repay him the favor. Let's stop these 2.
Yeah, I got a feeling, Bug Boy, that these our incidents aren't unrelated. What's happening here could have something to do with all this.
Interesting theory.
Did one of them grab the gems?
The gems
that
are
spot or both of them?
The gems are in the backpack that Lana's holding.
Okay. And is Lana walking away right now?
She and Nolan both have kind of backed away. You four are essentially between them and their only exit that you can see. They don't seem to be going for weapons immediately, but they are definitely kind of backing away from the four of you.
Can I just do a quick perception check? I'm just curious, am I in a video game right now?
You can go ahead and roll perception.
Not that Thwick understands that, but I just wanna see if I'm in like a PlayStation 1 game or something like that. You said a perception check?
Sure.
Okay. 11.
You know, it feels real. In fact, something tells you you've been here before, and something tells you that, and you can't explain why, but you're back.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna look at Lana and say, I'm Bick, by the way. I don't really know what's going on, but I do need you to go put all those gems back now. And I'm gonna use suggestion.
Okay. So the suggestion spell.
So it's a sentence or two, which my sentence is, put all the gems back now.
And I've got to do a wisdom saving throw that's got to meet your spell DC.
Which is 15.
Okay. So let me get her stat block pulled up. So
I'd yell for them to freeze, but it would be too appropriate to what's happening outside of this room right now.
Okay. So she's making a wisdom save, and she rolls a 10.
Oh.
Ooh. So she is going to follow your suggestion, and as she walks up, Nolan's like, "What are you doing?" And she says, "It's okay. We can live to fight another day." And she walks over, and what do you want her to do with the gems?
I wanted her to put them back where they were from, because they were off of like a pedestal thing, right?
They were. She walks over to it, and before she puts them down, she looks at you. "We put these back, we walk. Yeah?"
Yeah. And I'm looking for affirmation from everyone else.
Frank, are we gonna really let this Nolan guy ghost, or what?
I mean, everybody can walk in this room as far as I can tell. I don't know how far you're gonna walk.
With the suggestion power, Nolan looking at her said, "Lana, are you sure about this?" She says, "We've got the spider if we need it." And she dumps, and as she dumps the bag out, it is like a bag of holding, and this rainbow of color, the black pearls, the sapphires, diamonds, the emeralds, rubies, probably 15 or 20 of each just spill across the dais or the tray that the entity statue is holding. She dumps them out and she backs up and says, "Are we good? We're gonna go." And they start edging around counterclockwise or clockwise, going away, trying to get to their little exit.
I was hired for a job, so unfortunately I cannot allow them to leave in good faith. You know, I don't make deals with crooks, and I'll take a swing at one of them. I don't care.
Okay. All right. So what we'll do is go ahead and let's have everyone roll initiative.
Beautiful.
Initiative.
Do we notice any change when they put those gems back? Like, does anybody
Make a perception check for me while you're rolling initiative, and I'll get everyone's initiative order here.
Sounds good.
Thwick rolled a 13.
Okay.
Bick got a 6.
All right.
Chaos rolled a 23 with a natural 20.
Nice.
I got a 16 on the initiative and a 19 on the perception check.
Okay.
Or sorry,
So-
23 on the perception check. I forgot that.
Nice. So what you sense is that nothing changed. That whatever is happening, just putting the pile of gems up there didn't fix it.
Does Does Nolan boy seem like he's got any gems on him then, I guess, is the question.
So the way you guys are grouped, you've got Nolan is standing from the central area where you got the 7-foot statue. He is standing 15 feet away from it by one of the pillars. The 4 of you are basically grouped at, if we're looking at clockwise, at 6 o'clock, kind of in the middle of the room. On either side of you are these large pillars that are 5 feet, so you can take great cover behind them. The way I have you currently positioned is Frank and Bick up front, and I've got Thwick behind Bick. I shouldn't have done that, but I did. And I've got Khaos behind Frank. So you've got 2 in front, 2 behind, and right next to Thwick on your left is a pillar, and Khaos right next to you on your right is a pillar. Lana is only a few feet away from the whole group. Is she from the leading edge of Bick? She is 10 feet away. And with the turn order, they get, pull up my stat block, 19, 20. Okay, so they're gonna go after Khaos goes. Okay, so Khaos, you get to make the first move here.
You said that Nolan is near the dais, but kind of a little bit further away.
So basically, you've got Lana is right next to the dais, and then Nolan's basically 10 feet back behind her at roughly her 10 o'clock, next to a podium or a pillar.
Perfect. How far is he from me?
Nolan is 5, 10, 20, 30 feet away from you.
Perfect. I'm going to launch at him to pin against the pillar, claws at throat.
Okay, so you're going to move all the way up 15, 20, 25, 30, and you're going to try to pin him against the wall.
Like with just claws against neck.
Okay, so your goal is to threaten him with this, I presume?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and make a grapple check against him. So do you want to use your athletics or use your acrobatics?
Acrobatics.
Okay, and he will use his athletics.
9.
He got an 11. So you get up there to try to pin him, and he just jukes out of the way and is reaching for his guns. Anything else you want to do on your turn?
I'm out of movement speed.
Yes.
Don't you get, as a tabaxi, don't you get double movement on one of your turns if you don't take movement on the
following one?
On the following turn? Yeah.
That's what I'm checking. I think so. I'm going to move behind the pillar.
Okay. You're going to move behind the pillar that you were standing in front of? Okay. So you'll go out, and as a reaction, instead of he goes for his gun, he pulls out a dagger, and he's going to try to swipe at you with the dagger. That's a nat 20 for a 24 to hit.
That hits.
All right. And that's going to be only 5 points of piercing damage as he slashes you with his dagger. And then you move around. You are now completely obscured from him behind the pillar. He then is going to shout, "Lana, snap out of it! They're after us!" And he's going to take one step. He's going to move closer to the opposite pillar. He's going to draw his pistol and take a shot at Bick, who is standing in the front. It's going to be a 7 to hit. So the shot's going to go wide, and then he's going to step behind the pillar, and he's going to be completely obscured from the rest of you. Lana is going to say, "It didn't have to be like this. We'd like to get out of here." She's going to draw her pistols, and she's going to move 1, 2, 3, 4. She's going for the exit. She's trying to get away from you guys. She's standing right next to the hole that she got in, She's got her pistols out, and so at that hole, which is going to put her 20 feet away from Frank, she pulls her pistols out, and she's going to take 2 attacks. The first one's only going to be a 6 to hit with her pistol, and the second one, gosh, I'm rolling like crap, is going to be an 11 to hit. So she tracks off 2 attacks at you with her pistols, and they both go wide, probably because she was running and she was jumping, and as she was jumping, she was doing these flips in the air while still shooting at you as as she makes her way to the exit they have.
Okay.
Frank, it is you're up. She's right next to the exit. The pillar that Nolan hid behind is 20 feet away at your 10 o'clock, and he's behind it. You can't see him. Okay. She is only 15 feet away from you, and you can easily get to her.
Do I have the sense that she was truthful about putting everything she took back?
Make an integrity check. No.
Insight?
Insight check is what I was looking for. It's late. Yes.
That's what I was hoping for, because I have advantage on insight checks to tell if someone's lying. Well, look at that. I got a 23 on that.
You believe what she said.
Okay. Then she's not top priority to me right now.
Okay.
Then I'm going to head toward that pillar where Nolan's at.
All right. What's your movement?
30 feet.
All right, with 25 feet, you are now face to face with Nolan, who was hiding behind the pillar, and he seems surprised that you showed up. He looks at you. He's actually kind of crouched down with his gun out and his knife out. Looks up, oh crap! As you come around the.
And Frank, as you go by me, I'm gonna toss you some bardic inspiration.
Oh, thank you very
just
much.
Just kind of nod. Get him.
Get him. Good. Well, we're gonna come up to old buddy boy up here, and for my first attack, I'm gonna pound him one right in the nose, just right in the kisser to, try to let him know who's boss here. That's only gonna be a 17 to hit, though.
That hits.
Oh, yeah. All right, so that is 11 damage, 11 bludgeoning damage right there.
Okay.
And then I would like to use, for my second, or no, we'll hit him with another attack first. After I hit him I'm gonna yell out, like, did you take anything else? Like, after I hit him, and then I'm gonna punch him again anyway. Before he gets the answer.
All right.
And hey, that one's a nat 1 on that second punch, so I don't think it's gonna get him.
He successfully brings his arm up to block it, and he says, "No, I told you I didn't bring anything or take anything."
Well, I'm gonna use a bonus action then to just try to grapple him.
Okay. Yeah. We'll use his athletics.
Okay, I got a 16.
I got a 5.
All right.
So he is grappled. You bear hugging him, wrapping him in your massive tortillin arms.
Yeah.
Crushing him to your shell.
Get him in a headlock like this, so I can punch him in the face to get him to talk.
You've got him in a headlock. All right. Anything else you want to do?
I think that's everything that I can actually do on this turn. So yeah. I guess
we're gonna go to
roll an insight on the next turn to see if I think he's telling me the truth.
Thwick, you're up. Bick, you're on deck.
He can use dexterity to get out of a grapple.
Who he? Nolan?
Yeah, Nolan. Like, he can use his strength or his dexterity.
Strength or dex, yeah.
Okay. I am going to cast do haste again, and I'm gonna give it to
Gonna give it to Nolan.
I'm gonna give it to Nolan. No, I'm gonna give it to Khaos. So, Khaos, give it your haste, and so you gotta have an extra attack and a bonus to AC, 2+2 bonus to AC, and your speed is doubled. And you have advantage on dexterity saving throws.
You get to take an extra action on your turn.
Yeah, you get to take an extra action.
And so I'm going to mark you as concentrating.
Yep.
All right, cool.
and I'm editing her sheet in my spellbook.
You're standing between a pillar, or you got a pillar right next to you, and then 5 feet away is another pillar. Do you want to move? There's no.
I want to be safe. I want to be covered from their
There's
bullet
no
shots,
line of sight
so.
on anybody right now.
Nice. Yeah, then I will stay put then, or I can't see anybody.
Okay.
I had to see Khaos in order to cast a spell haste.
Yep.
So
you can see her.
that and then
You can just see her through the legs of the statue that's in the middle of the room.
Gotcha.
All right, Bick, what do you want to do?
So Lana's leaving the room.
It looks like she is making an exit. There appears to be no honor amongst thieves.
Okay, and Nolan is currently grappled.
Correct. And then just directly across from you is this giant effigy of a androgynous godlike elf that has the tray that has a whole plethora of gems spilled across it.
And I don't see anything that stands out on the effigy that's like, oh, there should be a giant red gem in this center hole on it.
You can make your action to investigate.
I'm actually I want to ask Nolan what caused this and how do we fix this?
Does he know what this is?
And like,
We're about
what
to
did you
find
do that caused all of these time warps? And I'm going to try to detect thoughts as he's responding to that.
Okay. So he is not in line of sight of you because he's behind this pillar being grappled by Frank.
Oh, sorry, I'll go over to
want
him. Yeah.
Okay. So I'll move you to where you could be able to see him. So you're basically standing on the other side of a different pillar looking straight at him where Frank has got him in a grapple. And so you're going to be rolling... Sorry, you're going to do detect thoughts on him. Are you doing surface level or are you going all the way?
So my understanding is I can start with surface level and then choose to go deeper if I want. So I'll start with that.
Yep. So as you start with surface level, you hear, because you get the most pressing thoughts, you get the sense of, gosh, this guy's arms are really thick and he smells so much like my dad. And this breath is, And so that's what you're getting off of surface thoughts right now.
That smells like burnt meat from Ryan's house.
So I'm going to probe deeper then.
Okay. And do I have to make a saving throw? Wisdom saving throw. Okay. And that's equal to your spell DC?
I'm double checking.
Probably.
Yeah, that's what it says.
Yeah,
well, I
15.
got a 6.
Under 15.
Okay. I got under 15. So what you see as you probe deeper, trying to figure out what happens, you see in his mind's eye, he and Lana, like, planting a few explosives, lighting a fuse, ducking out of the way. You see this blast happen as rubble falls into the chamber. They come into the chamber. They are lighting some torches and in awe of the wealth that they have seen. You see them tracing and kind of in that echoey wah 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 voice, Lana talking about how this is the flow of time and how this has been such a great find to finally find the shrine of Labellus Anoreth, and that they've been looking so long to find the god of time and his shrine, and that they knew there'd be immense wealth here. You see them going through and running their hands over the jewels and then trying to pull them out of the wall and talking about how they're going to have more tools for it. And then as they walk back to the front, they see the pedestal or the statue of the Labellus standing there, and that there are all these gems just gathered on the bottom of it, and that there is a sequence of gems on the front that mirrors the gem sequence that are on the wall. And you see them Lana putting all the gems around on the ground into her backpack, and just as she sweeps the gems off of the actual tray, he watches as the four of you just pop into existence in the room. And that's what you get reading his thoughts.
Okay, so nothing useful. Okay.
No.
Well, this is a dead end.
Well, that was...
Well, let him go. It's fine. And then I'm going to end my turn there.
Okay. All right. That takes us actually back to the top of the turn order then. Chaos.
I was thinking that I need to look at the dais, but I feel like now that Bick had a chance to look at the thoughts.
You wouldn't know, so
Yeah.
you've got hasted, so you can still look at the dais.
Okay,
See what you
so
find.
I wanted to run over and see
Okay.
if...
So you run over in front of it. You use your action to investigate.
Mm-hmm.
Because you got multiple actions.
Yeah.
Make an investigation check for me.
23.
As you were looking at the dais, it's this beautifully carved, godlike androgynous elf. Again, he shows the patch over the left eye, this flowing hair. It's just beautifully carved. But what strikes you, because you didn't notice it at first, and then it kind of makes you feel a little queasy in the stomach, because you look at the platter, and as you look at the platter in common, it says, and it looks like it's been engraved right into the platter, it says Chaos. The road forward is the path you took.
This bowl is talking to me, guys.
You have another action.
I'm gonna stick the gems, like I'm guessing it's a bowl. Or is it like a platter
It's kind of there's a tray on top, and you can see at the bottom of the dais where there are like several bowls, enough bowls to take each of the individual colors.
And where are the gems that Lana dumped back in?
They're
or did she
all
just,
dumped on top of the tray.
Can I just stick my paw in there and like mix them around?
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, you stick your paw on there and you mix them around. Nothing seems to happen. So that's your second action. Anything else you want to do?
I'm gonna relocate closer to the tussle that's happening on the opposite.
Okay. You basically come and you're standing right next to Frank, who's got Nolan in a headlock.
Maybe dangerous to come stand right next to me because he can still attack. He does
I'm just
have a
here for
gun.
moral support.
Okay.
All right. With that, it's the Nolan and Lana's turns. So Lana says, "Catch you around, Nolan," and she steps out, and you lose sight of her. You can hear footsteps as she seemingly is running back out towards where the subway tunnel is being constructed. And you hear that Nolan yells out, "I'll get you later for this one. You owe me a drink." And then he's struggling a little bit in your arms. He looks up at you and the four of you and says, "I don't want any trouble. I didn't start this. Just let me go."
Give me the Shadow's Tear. Give me what you took from May O'Donnell.
"I don't have it on me."
Well,
"We can talk. We can make this right."
then you can sit your ass right here and we can talk and you can take me to where it is.
Make a persuasion check with advantage.
All right.
You do have
Because
him
he's
as
in a headlock.
You've got him at a disadvantage here.
Let's see here. Come on, something good. All right, hey, we will take that. That is a 19.
19 will do it. You feel he's been resisting you, and then he just kind of wilts in your arms. And he says, "Fine. There's always other opportunities in the future." And he's kind of slides to the ground and he lets his weapons fall.
Good. All right.
I will let us come out of turn order. What do you guys want to do?
Go.
Well,
I
I'm
recommend we
gonna
go to
head
that
over
dais
and,
we arrange those stones in the
I'm
order.
going to range the stones, and I would communicate probably why I'm doing it.
Okay, so as you walk over to the dais, Bick, and you've got these thoughts in your mind, as you walk over to it, you see that engraved on the platter is Bick. The road forward is the path you took.
Hey guys, this is engraved to me. Like, this is weird, right? Come check this out.
Oh, yes, of course.
Yeah.
I go up and read it.
Yeah. It was engraved
Thwick?
to me.
The road forward is the path you took.
Oh, no, sorry, Bick. It does say Thwick, though.
No, that's a B at the
these
beginning.
Names
It's
are very
Bick.
similar. No, it's a THW.
This is a
Very clearly
terrible
THW.
font. I don't know who chose this font.
I was never the best at reading, but I'm fairly certain it doesn't say Bick or Thwick. All right, just saying.
I'm with Frank.
It says Frank. The road forward is the path you took.
Which is confusing because I only took half of the path.
Is it an engraving? It's an engraving.
It looks like it's engraved.
The here, and I take out a spare piece of paper from like one of my books. It's like a
Well,
like
what
a
the hell are you
notebook,
doing?
and I don't know. Just look, and I take my quill and I like do a shaving of it.
Yeah,
and like
you're going over it to try to.
dig it. I do the not a shaving of it, but
the shading.
Yeah, shading.
And then I take it off and show it to them. What does it say when I show it to them?
It doesn't say anything.
Oh,
I think you need to sharpen your pencil, pal.
well, no, it's my quill. It says my magic quill is my order of scraps. It never runs out of ink. Obviously, this is magical. Maybe it says all of our names.
I think somebody
I don't know,
sold
maybe
you a
this is
tall
mine.
tale, pal.
Well, so the
No,
road
it's like
forward
magical.
is the
Watch,
path
and
we
it goes
took.
away, and then I like resummon it.
So there's there's like the mosaic that you said like looked like it was a layout of time with different
Right.
gems in it. So do the images roughly, I assume, translate to the path that the time periods that we've traveled through?
So when you look at that, make a wisdom check for me.
I'd love to. I'm incredibly wise. How's a 3? Went ahead and rolled a 2 on that. So
You feel like you're onto something, but
guys, look at this.
You-
Look at this. Look at these gray. Look at these gray markings on the wall over here. They kind of match the gray gems. What do you guys think?
Because you're colorblind.
I think that's probably it. If someone wanted to help
So
him,
I'll
you might-
take
Yeah.
Go
Maybe
ahead.
somebody who can
Bick.
see color might be better suited for this.
Yeah. Can I offer help?
I just think one of you should roll. One of you roll. One of you look at this. One of you put it
You
together.
said wisdom.
Yes.
Correct.
Are you getting help? You try to put it together so you can roll with advantage.
I think get help. Get help from somebody else, please.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at it too, and because I saw these colors
Right.
before and everything removed, so I'm just gonna
Oh
look
my-
for any pattern.
Ow. I see a completely different spectrum because I rolled a 2.
But you get to roll with advantage because Bick's helping and he's explaining what he saw, so you get to roll again.
Got any more of them bardic inspirations to toss out?
I do
Bick?
actually. I'm gonna toss one of those. That's a good idea.
I rolled an 8.
Yep, you get the sense looking at the wall. You see that it goes from black pearls to blue sapphires to diamonds to emeralds to rubies. It seems to be setting out periods in time. If this is in fact the god of time, as Bick has learned from probing into Nolan's mind.
So what Bick saw is that there were gems in the front, right?
Yes.
'Cause are there any facets where we can put the gems in the front of the...
They're not.
Okay.
What he saw when they were lined up on the front, that they were, because he saw this when they went in. They were the black pearl, the blue sapphire, the diamond, the emerald, and the ruby, just like they are on the wall. This is a straight line.
And were
No,
they in
hold
the
on, if
bowl
this is,
or on the front of the dais?
Well, they were so on the front of the dais were these collections of many of those different gems in the buckets in that same color order. And then on the dais, there was one of each in a straight line that was on the actual tray.
So how many time periods did you all go to while you were jumping around throughout this adventure? I'm assuming you got to put them in these gem colors in the order associated that you went through. The path forward is the path you took. So each time period that you
So
all...
we must have the fire one was the most furthest in the past, right? With the dragon. It's got to be like.
But the
creation
path
of the
we
world.
took, I think, would start with that the
what was
city
the
with
first
the
place
glowing
you went?
orbs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that was the first place.
The first place you went was like a modern city, right? With like cars.
Yeah, it
Oh,
was New
yes,
York.
that's
Or it
How do you
sounded-
know that, Frank?
So yeah, I forgot about that first city. So we got the city, and then we had the future place with the dust people, right? That's
Yeah.
got to be the most future apocalyptic
Yeah.
future. Then we had well, what time period is this? Is this count? Let's see. How many of these do we have? Let's see.
You have an unlimited number of basically unlimited number of each color gem.
Okay, how many colors are there again?
Yeah.
So you got the black pearls,
Sapphires.
blue sapphires, diamonds, emeralds, and rubies.
So we went cars, fire.
Cars Dragon.
Cars, Dragon Magma.
And then you
Magma.
then you were back to like the present. That's when you bumped into me,
Present.
right? After the Dragon Magma?
Yep. Present. Then slightly
then-
old times.
The War.
Yeah, the
the
war.
war.
We went back like 30
Man-O-War.
years.
Slightly
and
old.
then
And then
Then the-
Wasteland.
Wasteland. And then present again?
Dusty video game?
Does that sound right? Are we missing any?
Yeah, he said there's like a subway or something out there, right? So
Right,
They're
and you know
building it.
that they are in the middle of building a subway to help with the clogged traffic in present-day Daggerford in the 1840s.
The Sky Rail's not doing it, so we need to also add a subway.
So looking at the wall, is there any kind of like art associated with the colored gem that would let us tell the period it's from?
What you see is, if you're looking at it from left to right, on the leftmost side, there is a painted like a sphere or a flash of light. And then from that flows out black pearls that go for a period. And then those slowly transition into blue sapphires, which then between the hands of the god itself, they turn into diamonds. And then as it leaves his hands, it transitions into emeralds and then into rubies at the very end, heading towards this.
I think it would be, I guess the order, like Kyle said, dragons has to be the earliest thing, so that'd be the one. That's the black, right? Our order of event, cars has to be the
black.
second furthest in the future, so 4, 1, 3, 2, 5 for the order of the gems.
Yep. So I got 41325,
All right,
which
cool.
would be,
Yep.
which is emeralds, black pearl, diamond, blue sapphire, and rubies. Final answer. Locking it in.
Yep.
And we put them in that order. We put them, lay them down in that order, I would think.
So each of you taking them, talking this through, you lay them out in that order. Who are you each doing one, or is one of you just kind of being guided? Thwick, you were just saying this. Yours is the last
If you
one.
want, I can place 4 of them.
Yeah, so
I can place
might as
4 of
well
them
just-
if one of you could take the
Why don't
last
you put
one.
the 5th one in your mandible so I can stop
Oh,
hearing
that's
this
what
clapping?
As you place
Well, I've got
down,
my mage hand too. I can
yeah,
do
that's
all
true.
5. I got my mage
There you
hand,
go.
so I'll do all 5.
as you place down the last gem, the ruby, in the line, there's a brilliant flash of yellow-white light, blinking furiously. Frank, you find yourself leaning against a dimly lit wall in the Tall Tale Tavern. It's filled with an immense sense of deja vu as the sweet smells of exotic pipe tobacco, coffee, teas, and various liqueurs perfume the air. Spread about in a half circle in front of a small raised dais are cozy couches and chairs overflowing with all manner of tall tale patrons. The podium is empty and beckoning. You stand, making your way to the small raised dais across from the bar. Your heart is thundering, your mind is awash with the events of the chaotic timeline rambling in your brain. You almost out of body experience of walking up, and a hush has fallen over the crowd who waits in anticipation as you stand before them, your mouth open, dry. You lick your lips to try to speak. Just as you clear your throat, a high-pitched beeping noise shatters the cozy atmosphere. You glance about frantically, eyes settling on Bick, whose thin frame seems to be visibly paling as he looks at you. Bick, you look down at your watch. Its display is off. No message. No signal. Sorry about that, mumbles the gruff voice of the long-mustached tavern master, idly scratching his bald forehead. He walks over to his espresso machines and flips it off, silencing the beeping. Please, tell your tale, he beckons to Frank with an affirming nod. Frank, you breathe a huge sigh of relief, unaware that you'd been unconsciously holding your breath. The story tumbles from your thoughts, first haltingly and then in a torrent, the gathered crowd held in rapture as the minutes tick by as you weave your tale. As you finish, gold leaf paper leaps from the shelves, nooks and crannies. Shimmering, it swirls through the air, the perfect transcription of your story filling each page. Bound in blue-gray leather, the gold lettering appears on the front spine of the book saying, "Killing Time." Smiling, you step down. Everything is as it should be. The annoying feeling of deja vu has all but vanished. You look across the applauding crowd. Bick gives you a nervous thumbs up. Nodding to yourself, you walk towards the bar for a drink and glance to the front door. And for a moment, your foot falters. The door to Tall Tale Tavern was always painted red, right? And this concludes our 9th episode of Tall Tale Tavern.
Woo! I think it's actually the 10th.
Might be 10.
Oh, it might be the 10th episode. And this concludes the 10th episode. I wrote that too long ago. Well done, guys.
Well, awesome. Thanks to all the players this week, Brian, Katya, Scott, and Ryan. Ryan, thank you for DMing this very fun, unique adventure. That was awesome. Everyone's socials can be found in the description. If you'd like to see the video of the episode, it'll be up on our YouTube. Follow us at Tall Tale Tavern Podcast on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. If you like us, give us one of those good 5-star reviews. Join our Discord too. Thank you to Tyler Adelsberger for our intro music. Thank you to Zazar for our artwork. And with that, we will see you next time at the Tall Tale Tavern.